And good evening. Welcome to a brand new, very special episode of the Big Exclusive Podcast. Um, Tonight's going to be a little bit different. I hope you guys are as excited as I am for this week's episode. Tonight is the takeover from the ladies. So, the fellas, we need a day off here and there. What better way to take a day off than to bring the ladies in to take over the show? Let them give you that feminine energy, that black girl magic, that melanated queen power. I think I got four awesome ladies here tonight to bring you the Big Exclusive Podcast. So that means Angry OG is off, Top Flight is off, and once I finish doing this intro, I'm off. Okay. Shout out to our sponsors for making this possible. Super shout out to iCraftMart.com. If you need anything natural, your shea butters, your whipped body butters, your lotions, anything to keep your skin healthy and fresh and smelling amazing, head over to iCraftMart.com. Epic Graphics and Crafts. If you guys have podcasts or any media or you have a business, you may need t-shirts or anything. He can do everything from t-shirts to mugs to keychains. So holla at Epic Graphics and Crafts. He has this super dope promo package right now. He'll put together what's called like a promo package, and he'll do like t-shirts, mugs, and some other things all for like one low price. All you got to do is mention the Big Exclusive Podcast to get that. Shout out to my guy that keeps me looking great, sounding great, Don over at Critical Shot Studios, the best in the business. He's just not technical. He's also one of the executive producers of the show. So I got to make sure I show Don some love. If you're not, follow his page. That's at Critical Shot Studio on Instagram. And he, unlike me, is very active on Twitter. Okay. Make sure you guys follow the Big Exclusive Podcast. Bestie booth. If you're having a party and you want one of those 360 photo booths, where you get to dance and you get to see like disco, and it gives you the 360. Make sure you guys get at Bestie Booth. That's at Bestie Booth on Instagram. And then last but certainly not least, one of our major sponsors, Shea Harmony. Shout out to Shea Harmony. Shea Harmony offers all natural products for the body with their whipped shea butter being their most exclusive item. Shea Harmony's whipped and scented shea butter is sure to keep your skin moisturized, soft, smooth, and soothe dry, cracked skin, and also leaving you smelling amazing. Now, you guys might want to jump on that. It's getting a little colder outside, and if you like me and you got the melanin in your skin, you don't want to be ashy. If you don't want the powder donut, shout out to my daughter at Maywa Cosmetics, Cameron over at Cami Cakes. Kayla has some very good lip gloss and lip balm, all natural, no preservatives, none of that stuff. Make sure you get at her. But Shea Harmony also offers natural soaps, beard and hair oil, essential oil remedies, and more. Shea Harmony products can be purchased at www.icraftmart.com. That's Shea Harmony, bringing harmony to your skin. We got ladies on tonight. I know what that means, to bring harmony to their skin. Right early on, let's get in a couple quick comments so I can get out of here. Thomas said, I can't wait. Flight like boom, because he's off. Abina says, I'm tuned in. Angry OG say, let the games begin. Top Flight said, Don with them kung fu fighting slippers. Don said he called them shadow kicks. All right. Nene says, hi. Nene says, do y'all see that top fan badge? Shout out to Nene Nashua. We appreciate you locked in each and every week. But now it's time for me to introduce. I don't have anything on my monitor, Don. That's crazy, right? It's just like the bridge. And that's Ben Franklin too. Yeah. Yeah, you gotta give me my monitor back. I gotta see what's going on. You know what I mean? It can't be, can't run the show if I can't see the show. But with that being said, this first lady I'd like to bring up, there it is. Look at that. Oh, hair growing back kind of fast. Let me fix it. It's like the hairband wig that the ladies use. I just had to fix it real quick. So one of the first ladies I want to bring up, man, this is a very personal friend of mine. We've done plenty of events together. I thought the banner was going to be on the background because, we've done a bunch of stuff together. I'm always down to support her because she is definitely one of the best chefs I've ever met in my life. This is my personal friend, sometimes confidant, and one of my biggest cheerleaders. I love this lady right here. Let's welcome professional chef Marcy to the stage. Hey, Marcy.
Hello, everybody.
Did you like the intro?
That was a good one. That was really
Okay.
good. I appreciate all the love, man.
Say that there because I appreciate the love back, Marcy. Every time I pick up the phone, like I have this going on, you like, all right, what do you need me to send you? What do I have to do? Do you have the digital artwork? I can start promoting now. So yeah, that love is always reciprocated. So I always appreciate you for all that you know what I mean, help me through and help me with and just the good food. Thank you.
I
And
appreciate it.
I will say, I will have to say this though, but this next time you come up here, I want this. Okay? I want that. All right.
Yeah, you can get the Cornish hen. That's a rock hen right there with the citrus mojito seasoning.
Thank you very much.
Hmm.
The next lady I want to bring to the stage is another personal friend of mine's. She is dope across the board, boss type chick in every manner in which they are described. She is an incredible person. She's always there to support everything that I do. It doesn't matter. Like Tiff's been around for a long time. Tiff has watched me grow. I've watched her grow. She's looking amazing nowadays. I got to bring the lovely Tiffany and Dennis to the stage.
Good evening, everyone. Hey,
Hi, Tiff.
Marcy.
Hello.
I see you rocking that shirt too. What it say?
That's right.
Oh, all
Oh, I like
right.
that. I
Black
like
Black
that.
women
women
are
are dope.
best. We are powerful. We are strong. We are intelligent. Like this just signifies everything that we encompass.
Yeah, that's good.
Shout out to Big Roll. He said, if I ever have a heavyweight championship fight, I want Big Exclusive to introduce me, laughing my ass off.
Right?
That's dope. That's dope. I
That was
appreciate
an
that.
amazing
I appreciate that.
introduction.
I appreciate that. The next lady I want to bring to the stage, she is fairly new to me. Both these ladies are fairly new to me, but I'm gonna tell you a little story so I can get out of here because I want to give them the best intro possible, right? So one day I was scrolling through the gram like I normally do, just looking for content for the Big Exclusive podcast, and I came across these two beautiful women who were talking about. I don't even want to bring his name up. Doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. But I love, their point of views. I love that they had their strong opinions. I love that they stood on it. And I was like, these are two ladies I have to introduce myself to. So I started commenting and I hit them up behind the scenes, like, yo, what y'all got going on? This is dope. Y'all should do this all the time. And they said, guess what? We have a podcast, right? And it's called Passing Time with Wine. I said, "Oh wow, that's crazy. That's super dope." And guess what? They have brand new episodes starting September 3rd. I'm sorry, September 23rd. Okay, September 23rd at 7 o'clock. You can catch their new episodes that they're launching. I have to bring these two beautiful women to the stage. Welcome, LaBre Tyler and Crystle Dominique. Hello, ladies.
Hi.
Hey,
How are you?
How are you guys tonight?
Doing great. Doing good. Happy to be on.
Oh man, I appreciate y'all being on. Now, I gotta ask before I go because I'm ready to go. My eyes is tired; they burning. Do you guys need anything from me before I get up out here?
I need some Tresemme and shea butter.
First of all, don't say no damn Tresemme on my. you say you say. Matter of fact, flag on the play, okay? Flag on the play.
Ooh,
Flag on the
baby.
play.
Got her out of there quick.
We can only do brands that
Wow.
are we can only do brands from our sponsors. So if you need something for your skin, you mentioned Shea Harmony, okay? And their slogan is bringing harmony to your skin. All right.
Hey, well, I'm
So
going to
with
get
that
some
being
of that.
said, yes, you do. You have to order some. You can get it at iCraftmart.com. With that being said, if you guys don't need anything from me, I want to say thank you again. I wish you guys a dope show. I will be, monitoring and looking and comment and enjoying the show like a fan this week. Okay,
Thank
All
ladies,
right.
you.
have
Thank
a
you.
have a great show. I'm out.
Thank you.
All right. I feel like the parents just left, and it's time for us to play for real.
Right? It's ladies' night. And no, let me stop. We ready.
Awesome. So it's ladies' night, and we're gonna do it our way. But I know there's a couple things that we want to talk about. We have a long list of topics. Everybody, please engage. I wrote down some names. Hey Nene, I want to make sure Nene know my name. Hey Top Flight. Hey Angry Old Head. Please do join in the conversation. Anybody else listening? Yes. Black women is dope. Nene, thank you.
Nene.
I really appreciate that.
Oh,
So I just want to start the conversation by saying, again, we got a long list of topics. How do we want to address this? Do y'all want to just kind of chit chat a little bit right now? Or are you ready to just dive right on in?
I'm personally ready to dive right in, but it's all I'm fine with the collective, whatever we all think together.
Yeah, no, we can go ahead and dive right on in. Let's get them some interesting content.
Like, really, we look like a singing group.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nene.
I'm curious. If we were a singing group, what would our group be called?
Oh, good question.
That's not a topic. That's a freebie right quick.
Melanated magic.
That's good. That was good.
Marcy, what you got? The fly's quick on this show.
Sweetness.
LaBre, what you got?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know.
Oh, you gotta be quick on your feet. All right, how about melanated magic?
That works. I'm good with that.
All right, lady, let's go.
All right, let's jump right in. So we're gonna go into these topics right quick. But for everyone who's listening, since we look like a singing group, I want the best singing group in the comments. The best name that you can come up with, and I got a free giveaway at the end of the show. So whoever can come up with the best name for this group, drop it in the comments, and we'll look at it a little bit later.
Butter soul. Okay.
Jay Butter Soul.
I like that.
So topic one, we have a couple things here. We're gonna talk about some deep stuff, but one thing that we spent some time really engaging in is that we want to talk a little bit about toxic relationships. Okay, ladies, young, beautiful, Black women, single, married. It's a couple different situationships going on here. So I want to hear about toxic relationship. What makes a toxic relationship? Okay, and I'm coming to you, Marcy, first. I want you to talk about it and then tell us exactly all the levels to this toxic relationship that we were chit-chatting about the other day.
So we talk about toxic relationships, and I'm not sure exactly where I fall in that arena, right? Because I look at it like it's whether you're taking accountability for yourself and whether you are holding someone else accountable, right? So that happens, but I feel like for me, I think I was probably toxic at one point in time because every time someone had something to say to me, I had something to say back, right? And it didn't matter if they were right, wrong, if it was, something innocent or something like that was, mean or nasty. It didn't matter what it was. Like I was ready for the argument all the time. And the only way I was able to get past that was going to do therapy. So I did therapy alone for probably about a year and like 2 months before I met my husband. But I definitely think that I probably was toxic at some point in time in every relationship that I was in. What do you think, Tiff? What about you?
I agree. And I'm going to piggyback off of that. I think a lot what makes up toxicity in a relationship is the mindset. If you have a toxic mindset, pretty much you're being self-servient. You can't be self-servient in a relationship. You're in a relationship. It's two people. It's not just one person.
Yeah.
Being able to take accountability for your actions, for the things that you say, and also the people that you have around you. A lot of people are really susceptible to others' opinions, and they will allow someone to taint what it is they're trying to build with someone. So that's what I think of when I hear toxicity within a relationship. I think that's what makes a situation toxic.
I had to start burning my sage as we were talking about this toxic stuff. But LaBre, go ahead, dive on in. What's a toxic relationship to you?
Honestly, I feel like there's different types. There's toxic friendships and there's toxic relationships. I do feel like the word toxic has been thrown out a lot lately online. So I took the liberty. I just wanted to Google it. I mean, we all know what toxic means, but I was just curious to know, what does what does the definition say online? And so it says very harmful or unpleasant in a pervasive or insidious way. And I was just thinking, well, can that relate into relationships? I think a lot of times toxic relationships happen with people who don't realize that they're toxic. And they have they need a lot of therapy. And they don't realize sometimes, I'm not saying all, there's some people, but the people, sometimes the ones who we would call toxic, got some issues that they haven't dealt with. They, maybe they think they're God's gift to earth. Maybe they think their itch don't stink or whatever. And they're not able to listen to feedback and listen to constructive criticism when someone's saying that what they might be saying is offensive. And I'm realizing when I look at that, I've seen that in friendships and I've seen that in relationships where people can be kind of basically what Tiffany had said about being kind of self-servient, thinking of themselves, their own needs, and not willing to think outside of themselves.
That's deep. That's deep.
Points. Great points.
Yeah.
So there's a couple comments coming through. I don't want to dive in, but
I think we as Black women are conditioned to accept toxic behavior. I agree. Abina Jones, I hope I'm saying your name right, but I definitely agree.
Oh Lord.
I think that's
I
think that's a two-way street though, because you got to understand exactly what toxic looks like to the individual, because something you might tolerate might not be something that someone else will tolerate, right? And also that means holding each other accountable, right? So it's easy for someone to point the finger at another one and say, oh my God, you're so toxic. But you also don't always know the backstory. And then also the backstory is an interpretation of what someone feels, not necessarily what happened. And there's a big difference there, right? When someone calls like someone to say, I was toxic, right? I was like, is that how you feel? Or can you be specific about the situations where you thought I was toxic? And also be like, are you sure that you didn't attribute to us having this, I guess, decline in conversation?
Definitely.
I agree.
So if anybody out there has been in a toxic relationship or know people who are in them right now, go ahead and tag them to this podcast and get them on.
Real quick.
So Nene said the man. Listen, Tip, I'm diving in. Help me out here.
That's all right. Nene, what did Nene say here? She said men are not listening. Oh, they on the hunt. Oh,
yeah.
I will say some men are listening. Not every man is on the hunt. We gotta give fellas some type of credit. Not all of them are on the hunt.
I personally feel like from outside looking in, I've seen toxic relationships where the male and the female don't really get that they're toxic. There is this cat and mouse chase that some folks tend to enjoy, almost crave. Like if there's any little bit of normalcy in a relationship, it's almost like the opposite of what they need. And the toxic, the fighting, the arguing, the blocking, the all the other stuff is actually a little bit more intoxicating, if that makes sense. I don't know if you guys have seen or heard, but man, I can really talk to some experiences where it almost is like, do you really like being in this situation, or do you really not want to be in this toxic situation? I don't know. What do y'all think?
I agree. I think a lot of times people don't know that they're toxic. I don't think they always know that they're being toxic or that their behavior is being toxic. There was times where someone accused me of being toxic. In my mind, I'm thinking, no, I'm not toxic. I get along with everybody. I'm very easygoing, but I had to realize that maybe that situation, maybe that friendship, maybe that relationship was becoming toxic. So then in turn, like sometimes you got to get some feedback, you got to receive it. And it's not always, a lot of times everyone's throwing out that word, oh, you toxic, but not, there's a face to it. It's not always these people who are bad individuals. They may not realize that they are. Maybe they have some deep rooted issues that they need to deal with. And it could be something bigger than you in that situation. So I've learned over time to take a step back when I'm in those situations where I feel like maybe I'm in a toxic situation to think, well, where is this coming from? Where is this stemming from? What can I do? What can we do together to make this work? Or sometimes you gotta realize this is too much. We just don't work. It may not be that we're toxic for each other. We gotta go our separate ways because we don't mesh at all. We're all in vinegar. And that's also a way of self-care as well, where you have to realize sometimes you just got to go. But that's my opinion.
Big Rose says the main problem I've encountered in toxic relationships is failing to admit on the woman's part it's not always the man. I agree. A lot of times us females are very toxic. We come into a relationship toxic because we're carrying a lot of heavy baggage from a previous relationship. And I think that before you jump in head first into another relationship, you need to cleanse yourself and take some time to really just get over whatever damage may have been caused within that last relationship, because you don't want to bring that into something new, because if you do that, your foundation is destroyed from the beginning.
So what does that look like? Because you just said a word. Like, what does time look like? Because I mean, am I taking 6 weeks, 6 months, 5 years,
It depends.
10 years? Like, what's too short and what's too long?
I think it's relative. It depends on the person. I don't think we could define that. Mm-hmm. Like it's just the self-work that you do within yourself.
Exactly. It's what you do to ensure that you can be rid of everything that you went through within that relationship. For some people, it may look like a year. For some people, hey, it may be a couple weeks. You just never know. It just depends on how you cleanse yourself from that previous relationship.
Then my next question is, can you think of a time when you actually were the toxic individual?
Yeah.
Let's hear this. When was the time that you were the toxic individual?
I know for me, I can say I was a toxic individual because I saw red flags and I ignored them. And when you ignore red flags, you allow people to treat you any way that they want to. So you can't start allowing somebody to treat you one way and then turn around and say, you know what, hold up, I'm not feeling that. You need to nip it in the bud right then and there as soon as you recognize it.
Now, was that you being toxic or you allowing toxicity happen to you? And that's different from what I asked. I asked when were you?
I think it's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of both.
So because I allow something makes me toxic? Because I allow somebody to treat me bad, that makes me toxic?
In my opinion, yes, because you're accepting it. You're accepting
it's different though. Those are two different things though. So what you accept and what you decide is no longer for you, and you being a toxic person are two different things, right? Because the toxicity from an individual comes from your own baggage, your own trauma, your own whatever. It can't. I can't be toxic and then be a part of the toxicity that happens to me. Like I gotta choose which side I'm going to be on. And owning accountability for your own. Like I came into my relationship because I had a chip on my shoulder and I got with him and he treated me this way. Am I saying like he's bad for treating me this way because he's toxic or I'm toxic? Like where does that actually lie? So where does that individual take accountability?
I struggle with, sorry, go ahead.
I just wondered because the comment dropped. I felt like I had a shout out. Thank you for bringing that back. Real quick. If you know a toxic individual, tag them to this podcast. Make sure they're listening in. So to all the toxics out there. So Tyrese said, Crystle, how do you know that you are not toxic anymore? That's a good one. Yeah. So I really think that I might not know if I'm toxic for another individual, depending on what the situation is, right? Like we're all getting in different situations with different people. I could be triggered by things that I don't even know I'm triggered by in one relationship and never, ever experienced it in a different one, right? And maybe some of those toxic behaviors could show up. So to answer that question, I don't think we all really know sometimes if we're toxic or not, but I can say that as a woman who has spent a long time, I spent 5 years single, enjoying my life, loving myself, not needing a man to sleep with me every single night, not needing company around just to feel whole. You know what I mean? Knowing what it's like to be alone and really be in that moment. And I don't know if any of you ladies can relate, but you ever been in that merry-go-round where it's just like one relationship to another relationship and you never really spend time alone. You're never really in a complicated situation. It's just literally just you. So I feel like to answer that question as a two-part, when you spent time alone, really, really fall in love with who you are, I think that's a good way of at least taking a stab to say that I'm not that toxic. At least not like I used to be. But ladies, how do you all know if you are not toxic?
This is what I think. I feel I struggle with whether or not we want to call people toxic or if their behavior is toxic. And because, okay, so your first question, just to go back, was Marcy, I think you asked her, Crystle, not sure, have you ever been toxic? I'm going to answer that directly and say, I don't feel like I've ever intentionally been toxic. But what I do realize is that I'm not for everyone. Like, I feel emotions strong sometimes. I have certain thoughts and feelings that I've had. And I remember when I was younger, I used to not. I go to therapy now, so just so y'all know. But back in my early 20s, like when I started having, I'm from Maryland. I had no friends in Philly, so I started getting friends in Philly. And I remember I would tell my whole life to my friends. Not everybody can handle that, and I lost a few friends because I was a little too much. Imagine that friend you call all the time. Hey, girl, what's up? Oh, my life sucks. Oh, it's hard. I mean, I wasn't like that, but just imagine someone that you always talk to, and it's always this, it's shade, always down. They're always going through something. I remember, I know I lost a couple friendships when I was younger because I was a little too much. I didn't know I needed therapy then. I needed some therapy. So, you know, I'm happily, I went to therapy, you know what I'm saying? I'm still going to therapy. I love therapy. And I realized you don't got to tell everybody your business, and not everybody cares about it anyway. Exactly. And so in that sense, I didn't think I was toxic, but that friendship for them was a toxic environment for them. They were a little overwhelmed with that friendship, and they wanted that to end. So it did, until, you know, growth happened and we were able to continue that future, that friendship in the future, when I was a little bit more saner and not needing to call my girlfriends for every little thing that was going on in my life when I was in college. So
I like the fact that you said it wasn't intentional. I think that's the situation with a lot of people. It's not for some, it's not intentional.
Right.
For others, they know exactly what they're doing.
There's a difference, right? There's a difference. So wait, real quick, only because I'm looking at, like, we got a lot to talk about. I want to make sure we touch on all these things, but let me ask right quick before we close this topic. And please, audience, dive in. Give us an example. This goes back to what Marcy asked earlier. Give us an example of you when you were toxic, or it could be an example of someone else, how it showed up in someone else when they were toxic to you. Like, what does that look like? Real quick. Did you slit some tires? You know what I mean? Did you put some sugar in his tank? I had a girlfriend or two that did that back in the day. But give me your most real.
I've done both.
I've done both. Wow. Oh, wow.
I've done both. And I've watched both happen. I believe it.
Let's go down right quick, and I want y'all to tell me.
Please share. Everybody that's watching, that's listening, please share.
Please share. What have you done? Let's do real quick. The next 2 minutes. Let's wrap up this convo, and real quick, tell us. Starting with Marcy, what has toxic looked like to you?
I think for me, it's being on high alert all the time, like on high alert all the time. So when someone says the sky is blue, and I got to say, oh, the sky is light blue. You understand? Like, I'm just on high alert all the time. And no matter what they say, I have something to say back, right? And it's also, I was toxic too, because I would be listening to respond and not listening to understand, right? So that's where I believe that a lot of my toxic behavior come from. Because if I'm listening to respond, I'm only thinking of my next comeback. I'm not even hearing what you got to say. I'm not even hearing your thought all the way through. That's what I think I was.
Okay.
Tiffyann, what you got? What you got? What you do? I think you put some sugar in his tank.
No, I can tell you, I've never done anything like that. I'm more so, I think me being toxic, over the years, what I've noticed is I shut down. If I hear something I don't like, I see something I don't like, I shut down and I pull back real quick. I feel as though, especially now in this point in time and in my age, I don't have time to sit around and play games with you. I'm up front. I expect you to be up front. And if I see something, if you tell me you doing something this way and then you go that way, I'm out. No conversation.
So I want to go to LaBre right quick, but Big Roll trying to tell us about how toxic he been in the world.
He was lying
so much she didn't remember the lies she told before and had to make up new lies to cover the old lies. Yeah, that's both sides. That's men and women. Because y'all be some lying something on others. I tell you that. Y'all can make up some ish.
Oh, we got angry. We got angry.
If you do something to mine, you can be damn sure that your windows in your house will constantly get busted. Damn.
It's a lot of toxic.
Damn, man, that's toxic.
Y'all, something going on out here in the world. LaBre, tell me, how have you shown up toxic? And I'm sitting here thinking, I think I've done some things.
I've never done anything, but I admire I have a lot of girlfriends who are gangster as hell. They have slit tires, they have threw things in the window, they showed up, posted up outside. I never did that, but I will say I have been on the passenger side with my girlfriend while we did a drive-by by someone's house before. I thought about it in my head. I thought of it, but I just never would have the gall. I ain't trying to go to jail. Jail would not look good on me.
You don't go to jail in Philly.
Not go to
jail in Philly. It's a part of the game.
I'm not doing that. I wouldn't want someone to do that to me. If I dump you, you're dumped. I don't want some guy, stalking me and slitting my tires because I don't want to be with him no more. So I try not to do the same. But I
slit my tires. Show me you love me, goddamn.
Oh, Marcy toxic. I think Marcy is a toxic one in the group. Woo, that just got her excited. So I'm said, slit my tires. Listen, like back in the day, back in the day, you know what I mean? Like Big Luther, not Little Luther time, right? I actually got into an altercation with an ex-boyfriend, like early days, you know what I mean? Like young love, right? And he used to make beats. And it was a really heated argument. I took his beat machine and threw it out a third-story window. Threw it out and broke the darn thing. That was probably the most toxic thing I ever did in my life because, and I'll back it up to say, just arguing, like, you know what I mean, fighting, not being able to control that emotion, you know what I mean, and like allowing something like that to happen, like throw his beat machine out the window. He deserved it, y'all. I'm not gonna put his beat machine.
Wow.
I threw his beat machine. So we're gonna.
I sure did. I did put sugar in somebody's tank and lit that joint on fire. And with all the shit it had in it. Yes, I have. I sure have.
Angela Bassett, that's what I'm talking about.
Ooh, you ain't gonna do me wrong and get to walk away and live your life like I can't do it.
Big exclusive says she ruined that man's career. He could have been.
I like that. I'm gonna
been a Neptune.
I'm not gonna do it. I'll write about it. Make a song about it.
Man, that was good stuff. So hopefully we got some toxic people in the building. If you ain't tag a toxic friend, tag them by now. We're gonna keep it moving though. And next on the list, you know what? I'm so bad at this. I thought I had my notes up, but I think we wanted to go into a little bit of conversation about relationships, right? And forgive me, y'all, if I'm messing up this order, but let's talk a little bit about if a relationship can survive cheating. We got a couple good things. I know I didn't do this in the beginning, so real quick, I'm going to run down the list to make sure you're tuning in. We talked about toxic relationships. We're about to dive into can relationship really survive cheating, and then move a little bit into our poly discussion, along with when is it the right time to marriage, healthy co-parenting, and what really turns us on. Oh my gosh, y'all, stay tuned. Tag a friend who got a friend who need to hear what your friends over here talking about, right? So can a relationship really survive cheating? Let's start with LaBre, and I'm gonna go round robin.
Okay. Sorry. I wasn't expecting to be. I was just thinking as you're saying. I was like, what do I think about this? So
you can come back. You can come back.
So I'm gonna just dive in. But my bad. That was the facial expression. I was like, oh crap! I was just thinking in my head. So what do I think about cheating in a relationship? Can it be survived? I'm full transparency here. I have been on both sides. I have been cheated on and I have cheated. I cheated one time, and in that cheating experience, I decided I was never going to do that again in life. So not to go into that, because who knows, he might be watching, who knows. But can it be survived? Yes, if the two individuals are mature enough to handle it, and if they're able to let go of it. In my case, when I cheated, I ended up being emotionally abused in that relationship. He couldn't handle it, and he didn't treat me well afterwards. So that probably should have ended. In the case with my college boyfriend who cheated, we stayed together. I do think it's easier. I don't know why, but we women seem to be more forgiving than men when it comes to that in certain cases. And it works out well, but it don't really work out that well when the woman cheats. That's my opinion.
Man, drop it in the chat if you agree. LaBre just said a word, and I'm curious to know how y'all feel about that. And LaBre, you said women tend to be a little bit more forgiving than men. Did I catch that right?
Yeah, we seem to be. But correct me, y'all. Maybe we're not. We just
maybe
it, but
let us know. So go ahead, Tiff.
Oh, Big Rose says, in my opinion, women can take a man who cheated on them back, but men can't take back a woman who cheated on him. Pride gets in the way, and Bo Johnson might have been bigger. I agree with you. I agree wholeheartedly, Big Role. Men can't handle it at all. We are such we are such nurturers, and we're so easily to forgive. But I honestly think a relationship can survive if both parties are willing to work on the relationship without any outside distractions. If they could admit their wrongs, whether they were accepting of it, whether they played a part in it, I think that as long as both parties are willing to do the work and put the work in, I think it can survive. But it has to start with a clean slate. You can't be two months, a year down the line. Oh, remember when you did this? Or if his phone go off or if her phone go off, you automatically like, well, what the fuck is that? Like you can't do that. You have to be willing to move on and move past it in order for it to work.
Yeah.
So Nimi said,
she said, that's just a deal breaker for me. I left every man that cheated. Now I can't say what she say? Now I can't say what I will do if I was married and it had, oh yeah.
And she hit it on the nose. That is my segue, because that's my thing, right?
Yeah.
As a boyfriend and girlfriend, all right, boom, I understand one and done and things like that, right? As a person, as you know, a boyfriend and girlfriend that has a kid, I can understand it because you want to keep your family together, right? But I think marriage is a different ballgame, right? And it's a different set of expectations. And I hear people say like, oh, if he cheats on me once, boom, I'm out, I'm out. Like, if you got a lot of time in with the individual and a lot of your life is wrapped up together, financing, business, and things like that, you know how expensive a divorce can be? Like, people don't even understand how expensive a divorce can really be, especially if you got money and assets and kids and insurance and all of these things. So it's an easy thing to say I would leave, but I don't think I would. Like, I don't think I would, right?
So Lamont just like dropped a word, and I really want to go back to that. Producer man, yes, ficka, run that back. Can we get an applause for like the ladies and their responses just now? We got sound effects. In the meantime, between time, while we work on that applause, y'all. Tiffany, what Lamont talking about?
He said, this is angry old head, y'all. He said, when men cheat, we are dogs. When women cheat, they blame it on whatever they feel like the man wasn't doing. I agree and disagree.
I want to dive into that, right? And I'm not going to say like I agree, but let's dive into that. I hear a lot of times like, you know, it's more so expected for a man to cheat. It's more so assumed, right? Why did y'all break up? You know, he cheated. He couldn't keep his pants. You know what I mean? And, you know, he's a dog. You know, you can't forgive him. You know, the ladies round up. And it's just a wrap for him, right? The family is all around it. Women tend to get a lot of support when it comes to leaving a man, right? If he cheats. However, I hear oftentimes if a woman's cheating, it's like, wait, he wasn't there emotionally. A woman is only going to cheat if she's not it's not about the sex. It's about he wasn't there giving her what she really needed. And I think that happens a lot, like in these conversations. So is that kind of allowing women to cheat more? I don't know. What do y'all think?
I don't. It's a hard thing to gauge why people cheat, right? Because it comes down to an individual thing, right? And so I've cheated once in my life, right? I cheated once in my life, like years ago. I cheated once, and I don't really feel like I cheated. Someone said to me, I owe them one, and I did it. And that was it. It wasn't like a whole, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know. Some guy I dated years ago was like, yo, you with him and you shouldn't be. I was supposed to be the one to take your X, Y, and Z, so you owe me one. And here I am. I did it. Boom. And I was living with the guy at the time, right? And I don't really feel like that was cheating, right? I did it once. Boom, that was it. And I went on home and that was it, right? But now, as an individual that's older, because this was like in my 20s, I don't know. I would weigh my options before I cheated. Let me make that very clear. Like, I weigh my options, because I ain't gonna cheat and then you kick me out. I gotta go back to my mama's house. No, I'm gonna take you back and I'm gonna hold it down and save my bread. Then I'm gonna cheat and then I'm gonna balance. You know what I mean? Because I hate when women get together like, oh, leave him, he a dog, whatever. But these women don't help you financially get on with your life, right? Because it's easy for people to give you advice, right? So I think that I just think it's a thing that has to be realistic about cheating, realistic about where your finances are, and realistic whether divorce is something that you want to go down the road.
So let's talk about this though. So Marcy brought up a couple good points, and somebody can we run like a couple comments back? Actually, I think that was a good one before I segue into the next one. It was like 2 or 3.
I actually like what Big Rose said. Big Rose said times have changed. Men are just as emotional as women today. Old school.
That's what I was thinking.
Keep it moving. I would love to have a conversation with you, Big Rose, because I have not been running into any men that are just as emotional nowadays as women are, and whatsoever.
Really?
I done seen
Wait, Tiff said that with her chest though. Did y'all see that?
No, I think men are emotional nowadays. There's a lot of emotional men out here. But to piggyback on what you were just saying, and also I want to agree with Lamont. Okay, your first question was, do men cheat because they're dogs, and women, do we just do it emotional? I think that's the stereotype the society has put on there. Men are dogs. Men are from this place, and women are from Mars. I forgot the whole thing. There's this stereotype that goes around about why men do what they do. And sometimes I wonder, we can't even say what went first, the chicken or the egg. Like, honestly, and I feel like sometimes people tend to act in those roles that society has said, oh, we've deemed you, man, you are a man. That means that you will cheat, and you're going to cheat because you are a dog. No, I don't think it's that simple. I honestly think that men cheat for various reasons and women cheat for various reasons. But I agree with what Lamont said. The ultimate reason is because they wanted to. It's a choice that you made. Because when you're in a committed relationship, you decide to commit to those terms of that relationship. When you decide to step out of it, that was a choice that you decided to make. And I can say that from someone who cheated one time in my life and from someone who's been cheated on a few times by boyfriends. It's a choice that you make. We all have our reasons, but that could have been solved. What? Women have different levels of what they consider themselves cheating. Like they'll say he only.
That wasn't really cheating. That didn't
do it. He didn't stick it in.
That
didn't count.
He put the head in.
It was only his finger. That was it. Like, she didn't really do it. Like,
it's a lot coming through. It's a lot coming through. It's a lot coming through. Whoa, like I think Big Roll, I'm missing it, but someone said like women are better at it than men. I don't know if we got too much time to spend on that one, but like that's an interesting conversation. We might have to save that one for the part 2.
Right.
I really want to like make sure we mental note that when the part 2 coming, we're gonna talk about who better at it, men or women.
All right, I'll write it down.
I do want to segue a little bit though, like since we're talking about cheating, Marcy talked a little bit about, marriage and cheating. I think folks look at cheating, whether you're married or whether you're in, a relationship outside of marriage. Hopefully this leads into what we really was supposed to be talking about. That's poly relationships, right? So my answer about can a relationship survive cheating is I really think it depends though on what type of understanding and what type of conversations. I think Tiff touched on this earlier. You are really having in your relationship. So bring it to the poly situation. To be in a poly relationship, or open relationship for that matter, where it doesn't matter, or I guess you're in an open situation in terms of who you're sleeping with. These are people that are having some really deep, open, committed conversations. So as we move to the discussion about poly relationships, we do have the definition. Ladies. Marcy, can you hit the beat with that one? Let's read the definition.
Polyamory is the practice of or desire for intimate relationships with more than one partner with the informed consent of all partners involved.
So real quick, let's drop the mic right quick. Can we run that back? Let's read that last sentence. That last
after the comma, with the informed consent of all partners involved.
All right, let's pause. How do we feel about poly relationships? Let's talk about it. No, for real, y'all. No, for real. I really want to talk about this, man. Like, and Marcy, we were chit-chatting offline, like, and all
right. So let's talk about this, right? So my experience and what I have seen of poly relationship, they weren't built around sex, right? They were built around finance, right? Because what I saw was a man, even when I was younger, I have family members that this is a part of their religion and how they were raised. He has multiple wives even to this day, and he has children with them wives, but they built a financial structure that they are fully independent from the federal government, right? So they don't need anything from anyone. They're growing their own stuff. They're saving money. They're making investments, and they're putting these kids through school. I don't know the opposite side of that, right? And I feel like the opposite side of that would be, oh, I should be able to have sex with whoever, whenever I feel like, and but there's difference from being that and wanting a threesome, right? Being polyamory and wanting a threesome are just totally different things, right? And we got to decide where you were. Do you want the fun of having sex with multiple people? Then go off and do your thing. But if you're going to get under this umbrella, then you can't be that, because that's not what it stands for.
I think that
real quick, LaBre, everybody, tag a cheater, tag somebody in a polyamorous relationship, because we got to share this message. So right now, if you haven't liked, commented, or shared, let's go ahead and get that out there. All right, LaBre, I need to cut you off.
What I think I heard described was more so polygamy and like a polygamous relationship versus like polyamorous right now, because from what it seems to be practiced right now, like it's a little bit different than like polygamy as far as like the marriage is concerned. And there's different types of polyamorous relationships from what I've seen. So what you just described to me from what I'm reading, I don't know, I'm not an expert on it. That sounds like more like within religion. But
if you out here cheating, should you just make that decision to be in one?
Huh?
If you out here cheating, right? If you out here cheating and you want multiple partners, should you just make a decision to be in a poly relationship?
No, that's what I was about to say. I think that sometimes guys just say that because they want to just have multiple women, but they really don't want a polyamorous relationship. They want a polygamous one, because polyamorous, what if the woman's polyamorous? What she wants to date around, you know what I mean, and have multiple partners, and also it's for the business, it's for the family, it's for finance. We can do all that stuff. And we turn the tables around for that. Oh no, I ain't for that. I don't want that. No, they don't want it. They want a polygamous relationship where they the ones that have the wives and have that family. What if I want to have tribes around the world? Have my seed around.
So slow that up for a second, because I'm a little slow with this. So you're saying like polyamorous doesn't matter. It's women with multiple men.
Women can be the one and the man. Yeah, women or men. Like it's different types of relationship. Polygamy more seems to be the man is the head of that relationship. He has multiple wives. They have families, and it's all about their one tribe trying to build an empire.
So Angry O has said it's more fun cheating though. Why make this decision? So Tiff, give me some input. It's more fun cheating. Why make this decision? And why are we talking about poly?
Oh, I'm not saying it's for more fun cheating. No.
I know. I'm just calling out comments.
No, I mean, me personally, I would never be in a poly relationship. I have personally been, I won't say introduced, but someone.
What did you say?
So hold that comment right there for a minute. We're gonna have to come back to that comment, but I don't want us to lose this one. Go ahead, continue, Tiffany.
I've actually been approached to be in a poly relationship, and I really think there definitely is a difference between polygamy and polyamorous. Polyamorous is more so you have two people that are allowed to have other relationships. And those other people are allowed to have other relationships as well. You just have to be open about what it is you're doing, how many people you're with, and you come together. And when you have your space and time together, it's just you. Where the polygamy is the building of the foundation and the family structure, and everybody putting the money into the pot and everybody's eating. I've seen what polyamorous relationships look like. Was not for me. Just him explaining it to me, breaking that, because he was really trying to sell this to me, y'all. We got a nice date and everything.
Well, how does that happen? So do they court you? Do they bring you?
What do that look like?
So Tiff, how does that happen? Does he like court you? Does the woman court you? How do you have this conversation when you approach into this type of situation?
See, and the thing I liked about this guy, I will say he was very upfront, because a lot of men are not upfront about how they are in relationships. And in our date, he said to me, you know what? I don't do casual relationships, or I don't do the typical relationship. I'm poly. I said, okay, so what exactly does that look like? He has a woman here in Philly. He had one in Texas. And wherever he went, he would build relationships with females. Now, when it was just he and I, it was just he and I. And we would talk, we would hang out and do the dating thing. So it was where he was courting me. But within the relationship, I said, this ain't for me. Because if I'm dating you and your phone is going off multiple times and I know that this is other woman, I can't, for me mentally, that's just too much for me. Like even when he and I met and we were dating, he told her everything about me and she had an issue with it. And that's another thing. If you're poly, why do you have an issue with her or him dating someone else?
That sounds like an open relationship or cheating.
Exactly.
Yeah, that sounds like something else.
So now we have to distinguish what's open and what's poly.
So let's go around the clock right quick. We could talk for hours about this, and I'm gonna keep it real. And what's interesting is there was a lot of men in the comments who were like, and real quick, y'all, tag a cheater. Tag somebody in an open relationship. Let's share this podcast right now and get it circulating.
Yes, but and please share the link, everyone. Everyone watching, please share.
Okay.
So it seems like the men had a lot of feedback kind of against poly, but we said in the beginning that like a lot of men try to like maneuver poly to be able to have open relationships and multiple sex partners. Who knows? I think it was just interesting, the dynamics in this chat room. Ladies, like real quick, round robin. Vote. Would you be in a poly relationship if approached appropriately? Be honest.
First.
Be honest.
Fuck no.
No. You meant that wholeheartedly.
Let's be honest. Bare naked, y'all. We bearing it all.
And
I've actually been approached myself. I've been approached myself, and I considered weighed the pros and cons, and I realized unequivocally, no, I'm not mature enough for that. I'm okay with that.
She
That's
said,
something I want to experience. I'm okay.
Okay. You want to read a comment, Tiff?
Yeah, Angry Old Head said, how was he comfortable enough to even ask? I'll tell you how, because I'm pretty much an open book. I lay everything out on the table. I don't have any expectations when I first meet someone. I expect that person to be themselves authentically from day one. So within a question answer segment of our conversation, and I think just the person that he was just very open and very candid about what he was doing. And the fact that I didn't look at him like, oh, what the fuck? How could you? I didn't look at him and demonize him. I made him comfortable.
Gave him the opportunity to talk about how his truths.
Mm-hmm. I may not like or might not be into what you're into, but I'm not going to demonize you because I'm not into something like that. I'm going to allow you to speak your mind and be you.
Absolutely. So Marcy, round robin.
I sure would. Absolutely. Listen. Yes, I would.
Tell us why.
I don't want to do everything. Like, I don't want to do everything, and I don't want to be everything for everybody. That gives me a chance to breathe, to be myself. All right, cool. I don't want to do nothing with you tonight. You can go your own home, girl, and we can, you know what I mean? And we can put the money in the pot, and I can buy my house in Atlanta, and y'all can live up here for a while. And I just see it. I see the side of it being freedom, right? Because let's say, you are a person.
You don't want to be the stripper. You don't want to be the secretary. You don't want to be the cook. You don't want to be the homeschooler. You don't want, you don't want to be as freak in the bed. I mean, you might want to be.
I want to be those things.
You don't want to do it all.
No, I want to be those things when I feel like it. I don't want to feel like I'm obligated to, right? And also, if you are a woman that's willing to...
Tim, you hear Big Roll.
All right, Big Roll. You can tell Marcy down. She got a tongue ring. Don't make that assumption.
Wait. I think we gotta call that out, though. We gotta call that out. And I think I'm not gonna spend too much time on this, but I think it's very important in this conversation to call that out. There's a connotation about someone being willing and open the way she's describing this, and it's associated with some type of over objectification of her as a woman and her tongue ring. I mean, I'm just saying, I think that's very interesting. But go ahead, Marcy. I'm not going.
But I just feel like it's a chance to be able to grow. And I think also if you are an individual that likes variety, you're in the perfect situation, right? Because sometimes you want to be more emotional. You have your woman, and then sometimes you need a little bit more, because men kind of deal in real life and realistic and fix the problem. When women tend to hear things and be more consoling and emotional. So you get the best of both worlds, right? And then you get someone to understand what you're going through or what you're having and what your dilemma is. But you also have to be an individual that's strong in your own personality. You got to be strong in who you are. So otherwise it's not gonna last. Because then you'll be like, you know how Tiff said, like, I don't like the fact that this girl's calling you. Like, no, but also too, in those situations, they're usually together as a unit. Mm-hmm. They're usually together as a unit.
And that's what made me ask, because I've watched several brothers out here that's public about the poly situations. You got a few out there that's talking about it, and like, you know, within the community. And some of the stories I've heard is the woman actually chooses the woman to join. And it's her decision. It's up to her to approve. So I think that's very, very interesting.
In the realms of threesomes. For the
no, in terms of like asking like a woman to join a poly situation, I've heard from several men who speak about this very publicly on public platforms, that from two different ones that I can say that I've like watched their videos on this. It's the woman does this, and it's not about sex. It's about it has to be a purpose for a new wife.
Yes,
purpose for it, for her to even go onto the topic, to go onto the table, and the woman has to choose. So I don't know, but Nene said yes, Marcy. Nene shouted you out, Marcy. She was into the conversation, so we had our little round robin. There it is.
Marcy done shocked me. Woo!
We got listen, man. Listen,
we got to talk.
But see, this is the thing, right? Because we women are used to being everything, right? Mm-hmm. And we feel like some parts of our life got to fit into this bubble. It's okay for your life not to fit into this bubble, but you have to be understanding of what you're getting into and being okay where you are. Because I follow this Muslim family on TikTok, and it's 3 wives, and they kick it like best friends. You understand? Oh, wow. They kick it, and I mean, like, they TikToking it up, and you know what I mean? Because they understand the dynamic it is to have 3 women help raising your children, and each individual get to be able to shine in the strength that they have as an individual without feeling like they're missing out on something or they're not adequate enough.
Mm-hmm. So what it sounded like is it's actually just beyond having sex with multiple partners. It's about something else in these situations. What's
I meant.
So again, the ones I do know always took it from. So my brother was a Hebrew Israelite. So anybody and a lot of people in that faith have more than one wife sometimes. You know what I mean? So, and you know, I watched them on my timeline now. Happy anniversary to Shaniqua, and then happy anniversary to Marquita, and they be clicking it up as a family.
Hey, I think whatever works for you. Go,
once again, share this and tag a cheetah, tag a poly couple. So, real quick, let's do a round robin from the comments and the audience. Type 2 in the chat if you with it. Type 3 if you're not. I'm just curious. I want a real quick 2 and 3 in the chat. 2 if you with it, 3 if you're not. Let's see what the vote looking like. So let's get this party popping and crack-a-lacking to the next topic. With that said, since we're talking about poly, we're talking about maturity, right? And these conversations about cheating, open relationships, which we didn't even dive into. Let's write that down. That should be part 2. Are you willing to be in an open relationship? Because I think
open relationship.
That's a little bit different than poly, and I think that's what Homeboy was trying to do with you, Tiff. But anyway. Marriage. Is there a right time and a right age for us to even be having these conversations where we committing with people in life?
I think so. I know that when I was in high school, I thought I was ready for marriage, and I thought I was ready for all that stuff. And now that I'm in my 30s, I realize I think a good time to probably consider marriage or think about if you're with somebody committed might be when you've like experienced some life a little bit. So after college, or if you decided not to go to college after your mid-20s, going into your 30s, I think that's a really good age when you're starting to really find yourself and be rooted into who you are. But really, to be honest, you're going to still be growing every single year. But so you may not be fully rooted. I'm not going to put that pressure on you because I'm not fully rooted. Sometimes I change what I think. But anyway, back to what I'm saying.
That toxic shit LaBre be talking about.
I do feel like you need to have some life experience before you decide to commit to someone.
Well, we got a 2 in the chat, so we got a 2 that's with it. And just to go back a little, we got a lot of 3s. We got a couple 2s. Interesting. So Tiff. So marriage, is there a right time, right age? What you think?
Me personally, I do. I actually am a divorcee. I got married when I was in my 20s. And at the time, I thought that I was ready. I thought I knew everything. I'm like, bam, we got this. We both make good money. We're both aligned spiritually. We're both aligned mentally, emotionally. And I think that when you're so young, certain things can come at you and can hit you that you've never experienced before, that can take you in another realm of yourself that you never knew even existed. And I think that can taint the relationship. I feel that had I waited until I was in my 30s, in my later 30s, I think the marriage would have lasted because I would have had more experience about knowing who I was and knowing how to handle certain situations that came my way. I think that men should wait until they're at least in their late 30s or their early 40s, because with men, as we all know and have probably experienced, men have so many different options and varieties of women. And nowadays, it just seems like things are just so in your face. Women are more prone to throw themselves at men, even if they do see that their ring finger is occupied. It's like a challenge to them. And I think that with age comes maturity. And I think at a certain age, you're a little bit more level-handed and headed and can handle certain things that may come your way.
You can have mature conversations. If I'm trying to be a cheater, if I'm trying to be poly, like we can talk about it. We can have mature conversations. Marcy, what you think? Is there while I look for my lip gloss, because my lip gloss is no longer popping, y'all. I can't find it.
So let me think, right? So let me say this as politically correct as possible. I feel like people should get married in their late 20s, right? And I think especially folks of color, if they are in a point a maturity to be married, right? But as a person that I am 40, right? And my husband is 30. And my husband and I met, and he was like 26, 27.
So you like the young ones. Okay, Marcy.
That's just how life worked out.
Me. No, I'm just playing.
That's just how life worked out. But as a person that's married now, right? Married now, I wish like I would have met my husband back then, right? Because I feel like people don't really understand what it's like to be married and the definition of putting your pride aside, being honest, being truthful, and being forthcoming, right? And I think that's why a lot of marriages don't work nowadays. But I do feel like if I know what I know now and how much my life has become better and how much of a friendship I have with my husband, I would have opted for this at 22. Like I wouldn't even went down the road, you know what I mean? Like, and it also builds stability. And it also, if you have the right husband, and that's really what it comes down to, having the right spouse. If you have the right spouse, it will work out the way it's supposed to. Not that my husband and I have this perfect relationship. That's not what I'm saying. But it also, I'm also able to see past things that are so trivial that some people have a hard time getting. They never actually know how to fight.
Wait, that one went over my head. Is that an inside of Marcy?
That's my husband.
I was about to say that went over my head. Okay.
My husband says, right? Because of what Tiff said, right? So when we got married, I only got a wedding band, right? And sometimes I don't wear it, and sometimes he doesn't wear his. So people never really know if we're married, right? And I always say people put too much stock into the ring, right? Because the ring is not going to stop you from cheating. A ring doesn't mean nothing but a physical, tangible item, right? So you can wear your ring and cheat. You can wear your ring and have 3 lives. You can wear and you can, you know what I'm saying? But my husband, him and I I always say to him, like, if somebody talks to you, you need to ask them, do they know how to fight? Because my wife is going to beat you up. Please understand. Like I am not. Yeah, I told you, I am the toxic person with the violence in my relationship. Don't talk to him. Talk to me.
Yes, Marcy, I'm with that. I feel
Marcy said, "I'm the toxic one." Marcy just said something, y'all. I know this isn't on our list of conversations, but like she said, that ring don't mean nothing. I just got chills. I got so excited inside hearing you say that. Like, can you buy me some land? Like, can you show up with a piece of property or something like that? I do not care. I don't understand the fascination with this piece of jewelry that is a material good that really loses value the second you put it on your finger. Unless you J-Lo, I ain't gonna hold you and you got one of them, one of them big rocks. But Tiff,
I mean, I'll take a big rock, but people think that when a person puts their ring on, automatically become a different individual. And that's not how it works.
Exactly.
You don't put a ring on and become somebody different, right? That's not how it works. You're just a jerk that happened to get married. That was it. Or your woman thought she can change you and she knew you was a jerk before you got married. But that's not how it works, right? Because I can still not wear my ring and not give somebody the time of day. Like I can look like, no, bro, I'm good. No, thank you.
And even if you're giving somebody like a dowry or a piece of land or property, like they can still cheat or leave you as well. But I do feel like there's certain offerings that you can provide in a relationship, like a marriage, that puts more investment into the relationship, where you're now like looking at things a little bit differently versus us being so caught up on you know, a wedding ring. And I think Big Exclusive says, shout out to your husband, Mr. Glass himself. Thank you for your service. Tag someone to this podcast, share it, tag somebody who's in the service. Tag a cheetah.
There's a lot of them in there. Let me tell you, baby, it's a lot of them in there.
And let's make sure we're liking, comment, and sharing. Thank you so much for your support tonight, Tiffany. You were about to say something.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that, because I was scrolling Instagram the other day, and Tiffany Haddish said something that was very interesting.
Talk about it.
She wants comments to propose to her with an apartment building.
She said, I want units.
Hello.
I want units.
On top of units. I don't want the ring.
She said, I want a ring. And what's so funny is, units. LaBre, you and I, we had a conversation about this with one of our previous co-hosts when we first were playing, thinking about the idea of a podcast. And I remember we were talking about this, and there's some you'll hear women who are very passionate about this ring conversation. Mm-hmm. And I'm not gonna lie, when I saw that post from Tiffany Haddish, I felt like that's my tribe, yo. I get it. I understood. And sometimes in these conversations with women who are very caught up in this idea of a ring and getting the ring, and I don't know, I kind of feel like we're missing it a little bit. And no offense to anybody that gets a ring, right, Marcy? You got a ring on, shout out to your ring.
I don't know. That's the thing, right? Because what I have on right now is a rubber ring, right? That's what I have on right now. My ring that I used when I got married is in the bathroom in the windowsill. You know what I mean? But yeah, people put too much emphasis on a ring and not enough on the marriage, right? Yes. Because a ring is not going to mean nothing if that person is trash. Like, it means nothing, and it's going to be nothing to them. You know what I'm saying? So I do like, understand it.
So Tim, I think we missed a couple. I'm sorry, I was running my mouth.
So we got Big Exclusive. He said, no, I don't care about none of that. If it's not working, I'm out. The money, the ring, land, or any of that don't mean nothing to me.
Is he giving land? Is he giving units? Like, that's what we're talking about. We want units. And then go ahead, Angry. What Angry talking about?
Angry says, so he gets her and she gets him in the building.
Well, come on now. Come on. I'm sure she's giving him more, but it's just more so, it's the thought process that you are asking for my hand in marriage. I don't necessarily need a ring. What dowry are you bringing to me to show your investment in this relationship? And she's saying, I want assets over liabilities, baby. That's what she's saying. But go ahead.
I think what I struggle with is like, well, why is she not buying that right now? I get, okay, let me first say this. I get the sentiment, and I think that's a good idea for us to focus on assets. I agree with that, and we should build. And I think that's good to build a business. So I want to say that first. But I'm curious, like, she's rich. Like, for me, like, that's something I feel like I would say. Like, if I'm getting married to my husband, I'm like, look, let's get some buildings. Who cares about a big wedding? Let's just work on our business and growing and evolving. But she's already rich right now. So part of me is just wondering, how come she hasn't bought herself any apartment buildings right now and started doing that herself? Because she got the money to do so.
And I think that's a really good question. I personally, feel free to dive in, ladies. I personally feel like that is not about the money. The message is in I don't need no ring. I want an investment from the person that I'm about to give my life to, where we can build generational wealth. I got the message that my focus is not a ring. My focus is building generational wealth and having a partner that's thinking like that. And that's what I read from that. I didn't personally read like she need a building, but I don't know. What you guys think?
Nicole said she can buy me a ring and Bitcoin.
Boom. Boom. Yes. But I don't know if y'all had any input on that. I kind of threw that out there, but
yeah, I don't think she wanted. I think the sentiment was because there's a lot to go through to buy a building, right? You got to scout it, you got to put that, you got so much to do when you're buying a unit, right, or whatever she was wanting. That there's so much work behind it. And when you work behind it for something, it shows that you're willing to work at my relationship. So I don't think it was about the money of actually just buying her a building. Like, yeah, she can get it. She probably has them. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I think the amount of work it takes to acquire that shows a lot of dedication and commitment.
Oh, Marcy. Whew, if you was a man, I just love what you just said.
No, girl, I ain't got time for you. No, thank you.
Just playing. Go ahead. What you got, Tiff?
Angry Old Head says, you shouldn't expect what you can't provide yourself.
I believe that.
I agree. I agree with you wholeheartedly on that. Don't ask me for something that you can't provide for yourself.
I believe that. All right. So listen, shout out to everybody listening. Comment, man. I'm feeling love. Ladies, are y'all feeling the love?
Most
definitely.
Yes. So real quick intermission check. Like those in the audience, have you thought of the group name? I got a special giveaway at the end of the show for the best group name in the chat. So keep a lookout, Tiff. Like, you know, somebody said in the beginning that we look like a girl group. So what's the best name in the chat? I'm waiting for it. I got a giveaway. Something special. Anyway, so we're gonna keep it moving to the next topic. Actually, we wanted to discuss healthy co-parenting, actually, which I think is a very important discussion. I personally am not a mother, so I don't have this in my situation. But I grew up in a blended family, so I think it's very important being a child of a blended family where co-parenting is that topic is just deep. It could really affect the children. So I have experience as a child, coming up where this really matters. So talk a little bit about, I'm actually going to start with you, LaBre. Healthy co-parenting. What are your thoughts? And feel free, team, keep listening and keep chatting. We love to hear the comments.
Healthy co-parenting. Where that at? It's like, no, I'm playing.
Whoa, shot. Can we get some sound effects?
I'm so joking, but I'm still trying to figure out what that really looks like. Because I think what I have is healthy, but I'm sure I actually have seen good examples of that I don't currently have.
So what is that?
What it looks like to me is two parents that decided that their relationship was not going to work, but they weren't going to allow the demise of their relationship to affect how their child was raised. So they work together as parents to provide the parenting. So whatever, all decisions when it comes to parenting, are they going to be vaccinated? Are they not going to be vaccinated? What school they're going to go to? How are they going to be raised? Are we spanking? Are we doing corporal punishment? Or are we not? Who's providing? We both doing it. I think that's a healthy, beautiful co-parenting, and I have seen that exist. And I love it. For me, it didn't happen like that for me. I fell for what?
I'm sorry, Mr. Glass. Mr. Glass.
So what I think, like for me personally, I'm still working on that. Like we have a healthy relationship as far as we get along. We get along, but I think that I am the sole parent of my son. And I don't think that like he's taking a step back, kind of like when you see those old school movies where like the man's like, my wife, she know where she cooking dinner. Like men have these expectations about what women are supposed to do. I feel like his father's taking a lax approach to parenting, and I handle all the parenting, all the hard decisions, and he doesn't provide financially either, but we get along. You get what I'm saying? We get along because I've decided I'm not going to force somebody to be a father to their child. I'm not going to force them to provide or do this. But when I did that approach, that's what benefited us, where he started stepping up on his own. Because I'm not going to be that person calling you up. You need to do this for your son. He needs shoes for school. He needs this. After a while, it gets old. You know you have a son. He does exist. So what are you going to do? So anyway, long story short, to answer your question, I do think there is a such thing as healthy parenting. I think that varies from person to person. For me, I like the fact that me and my child's father get along. I don't get all those other perks, but we get along. And I've heard horror stories about other people who have not got along with their child's father.
And what I'm hearing there is that you're like accepting, or celebrating the small wins, but because of the bare minimum of what you're getting, it's like you're happy to have the bare minimum. I think that's very interesting. And you called out something, and I want to go to Tiff and ask. LaBre said that men tend to, or in this situation, the man takes the back seat naturally. I hear that from women a lot that are in these co-parenting situations where it's expected that the child is just with the woman, or the woman is, doing all the work. What do you think about that?
Me personally, I can't agree with that, only because I will say my situation, my ex-husband and I are living proof that healthy co-parenting exists. And I'm gonna give a shout out to him. I think he's watching. Mike, big shout out to you. When I tell you this man is a father through and through. When he and I split up, things weren't roses. But he and I were mature enough to understand that we got 3 little people that we got to take care of. So we do this together. We are a unit. We make it very known to our children that you're not going to run no game on me. How we co-parent, we do week to week. Like this week, our children are with me. Next week, they'll be with him. So that way they get to see us in the same percentage. You don't see daddy every now and again. You don't see mommy every now and again. We do birthdays together. All of the children's birthdays, we do their birthdays together. We do Christmas together. Sometimes we do Thanksgiving together. Like we very much are a family unit, even though the relationship did not work.
Well, shout out to this hold on co-parenting situation, because Mike stepped up. He said,
Mike, hey.
He said, I'm here. I really, really like it.
When I tell you, and I think for both of us, because of how we were raised with our mothers and our fathers, we were very adamant to make sure that our children were in the best situation. They didn't feel like it was something that they did wrong as to why we aren't together. We have these conversations with them even now. Our youngest just turned 16. It's a constant conversation that needs to be had. And that's something that he and I work very diligently with on a daily basis to make things as normal for them as possible.
So Big Exclusive said, I'm going take your job just for 1 second, because you're saying the word. Shout out to my big little bro Mike. Talking about your ex-husband, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. I learned a lot from just watching him. Salute, bro. So this is actually beautiful, because you hear a lot of the different sides of it, and that's beautiful. So shout out to the dope dads out there holding it down. That might not be what some folks is the norm, right? Marcy, what are your thoughts on the topic?
My husband and I, we don't have children, but I specifically married him because he didn't have children. I didn't want someone that already had children. That's not what I wanted in my life. I wanted everything for us to be a new experience. So I chose to, and I also chose to date that way too. Let's make that very clear. I didn't date people with children. I did not date men with children. But I think that when you have the co-parenting thing happen, you have to understand that sometimes one parent might provide more financially, but that doesn't make them less of a good parent, right? Because somebody can be a trash husband and be a great dad, right? Or a trash wife and be a great mom. You know what I mean? So you definitely got to look at each situation individually. You know what I mean? But I think both parents are important. As a person that grew up with just my mother, and again, back to my toxic ways, because I was used to women holding it down. So when I started dating, I thought I can call the shots, because that's all I saw in my life was women calling the shots. I didn't have that balance in my life, right? And that's what made me toxic when I was dating. But I think it's really important that kids have balance. They need both of their parents equally.
So what Henry Cotton talking about?
I was just looking at that. He said, if my wife leaves, she goes by herself, kids staying with me. The courts will try their hardest to take them, though, but I would work hard to keep them. I'm glad that you said that, because
shout out.
Yeah, the courts are, when it comes down to it, they automatically side with the mother. That's why I think that it is very important to build some type of foundation and some stability, because like I said earlier, you have kids. These are children that you're raising, and they see everything that you do. They hear everything that you say. And I don't think it's healthy to allow a judge to determine what it is you're paying every month, how it is you're seeing your children. I think that's something that as adults can be established between the two people that decided to make this child and bring this child into this world. So that's a responsibility as a parent.
So real quick PSA, Tiff, real quick PSA. I want everybody to pause for a second. And if I don't care if you've done it 10 times already, I want you to tag a good dad. I want you to add a good dad to this podcast and share it to them right now. You want to support Black business? Let's support this right now. Tag a good dad and shout him out right now on behalf of the Big Exclusive Podcast. All right, Tiff, go ahead.
But yeah, I definitely agree with his comment. Definitely, I hope nothing does happen. I hope you stay together. You know, I pray for that for you. But just definitely keep that in mind. If anything were to happen, you want to make sure you fight as hard as you can for your kids. But before it even goes to the courts, just have a conversation.
Right.
Because the ones that suffer is them kids. That's who really suffers when you decide to take things to the court route.
Mm-hmm.
So before we jump into the next topic, I definitely wanted to just put my little 2 cents in there. Like not having children, I don't feel like I can relate, but being a child of a blended family, you know, my mother and my father divorced when I was probably about 8 or 9, and both remarried. So, you know, I got step brothers and sisters and adopted sisters and brothers, plus the brothers that's in the mix, and mom and dad over here and over there. I will say this. It's very important that in these blended families and in these co-parenting situations that we are really taking the time to do the best job that we can to support one another and in a mature way. You know, like some of the examples we heard already is so important because it affects the children more than anything. A lot of us out here that we talked about toxic behaviors, right? A lot of us out here, before we even get in relationships, we still dealing with the traumas of our parents. And being a child of a blended family, some of my earliest traumas came from the issues that my mom and my dad could not figure out. So I think that's very important. If that speaks a word to anybody that might be in a situation right now where you're co-parenting, like seriously, do it for the children, because you are actually affecting your child in ways that you don't even know by not being able to, come together in a way, and figure it out. So that's my little 2 cents there.
I wanted to clarify one thing before we go to the other topic. I wanted to say on my part, I wanted to clarify, I'm not okay with the bare minimum. I'm not happy with the bare minimum, but I do choose to look at the bright side. So that's the point I was making on my part. We didn't, when we broke up, it wasn't as peaceful as I thought it was going to be. But and the fact that we get along now is what I'm celebrating. But I want to make that clear. I'm not happy with the bare minimum. I would love more. I would love more. I would love for him to step up and be a better father. But you got to understand, some people weren't taught. I'm not making excuses, but some people don't know how to be a good dad, even if they're trying to. Yeah. So I've learned to accept that this is what he can do right now. This is the best that he can do, and I accept that. Do I wish he could do more? I do, and I talked to him about it, and he's working on it. But I wanted to make that clear so people know that I'm not okay with the minimum, but that's what I have right now. So
thanks for sharing that, LaBre. You know what? Can I say you deserve more? Mm-hmm. Thanks for sharing that.
I'm going to read this comment real quick. This is from Mike. Hey, Mike. He says, our co-parenting works because we learned to be friends and understood that the kids was the most important part of our lives. At the same time, we also understood we had to rebuild our friendship and get to a good place for the energy to be right for parenting.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's something that LaBre was kind of touching on. You said something that really struck a nerve, like he working on it. That was beautiful.
At least he's trying.
That was beautiful.
That's all you can ask for.
That was beautiful. Mm-hmm. Wow. Listen, we taking names, dates, and places because this convo is getting hot. Real quick before I jump to the next topic, what Angry O here talking about?
What did he say? The fact that he's doing the best that he can, you appreciate it is dope. Very much so.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
I agree. Just actually taking the time and just being acceptant that he's trying. That's the start.
Awesome. Cool. Anything else with this topic? This is a deep one. So anything else before I move on? Because I don't want to lead this too soon if I don't have to. Mm-hmm. This is good. A lot of good stuff. I love Black people coming together, man. Like talking about how we're going to be good moms and dads and lovers. Speaking of, moving on, we're talking about what turns you on. Attraction, ladies. What really turns us on? I'm gonna start with Marcy because I feel like we about to get a toxic story over there.
Let me think about that one. I think that, like, for me, My husband became my husband because he was patient. He became my husband because he was patient. Because sometimes we women are not easy enough to get along with, and having a patient spouse when I'm having my own set of struggles was what got me to where I wanted to be married to him. And then also my husband was support from day one. Like day one. Like, you cooking for this festival, all right, we in here. I'm gonna stay up all night to help you cook. Like, from the beginning, he was supportive in every single thing I did, even now.
All right, come on. You gotta give us something else, Marcy. That was cute and all, but
let me think about it. Let me pull one out there. Come back. I'm gonna get something good for you.
No, actually, that was really, really good. So, what turns Marcy on the support? So, what ain't we on here talking about?
He's talking about I like big butts and a smile.
Listen, you cannot lie. Tiffyann, what's turning you on over there?
Oh, what turns me on? I love a man that exudes confidence.
Ooh. Ooh.
A man that just can walk in a room and just knows, not necessarily, I can get every chick in this room, but just he's sure within himself. He has it all together. He can hold a conversation. That's what really turns me on. If we can have a conversation from jump, and we can sit there and 10, 15, 20 minutes done pass, and you have my undivided attention, that is a huge turn on.
So real quick, before we get to LaBre, I'm just gonna call this out. So Tiffyann was seducing us right quick. I leaned in to audience members.
That sounds like you ain't real head.
You leaned in up in there. Like she said, hold on now. Let me tell y'all what turns me on. So LaBre, what turns you on?
I guess if I'm thinking carnally, like with my flesh, I think what turns me on is a take charge guy, like a guy who exudes that like he's just a man. I will say I'm an assertive woman, so having a man who can, no, I'm not emasculating you, but I do have thoughts, and being able to handle that and talk to me with respect, that definitely turns me on. But outside of that, to be honest, right now, lately, maybe I'm being a little too deep, but for me, a guy that turns me on right now is a guy who does what he says he's gonna do. Like, just if you're gonna say you're gonna do something, let's do it. That matters to me. I might be wet if you do that. Oh, thank you so much for doing what you said. Like, actually mean what you say.
Woo!
That matters to me.
Good stuff. So if I'm gonna answer this, assets over liabilities, baby. Like, I love a man who know how to get it. Finance that can make money, and he not even gotta be rich, but just know how to take care of himself, take care of his situations, and provide. That's like a huge turn on. A man that has presence. I gotta list y'all. Like, you walk into a room and you just own the room. Oh my gosh! Like, sometimes a man with presence, it has nothing to do with the way he look. It has nothing to do with the way he talk. Like, some men just have this aura. And you just know, like, that's a man. And if I'm going to take it somewhere else, like, I like kinky sex.
I wasn't ready.
I think that's another show topic. We can dig deep into that.
Anyway, so go ahead to the comments.
All right. Big Bro says women with locks who wear uniforms, except for PPA.
Wait, read that one again.
Talk about it.
Women with locks who wear uniforms except for PPA. Don't nobody like PPA.
That one went over there.
Oh,
yes,
that was a good one
too. Yes,
because I want to follow.
Not everybody can lead.
Yes,
that was a
very good comment, Nene. Thank you for that.
So Nene said, "Oh Lord."
For my part, you're a freak.
So every day of the week. So what Nene said was, she said me too. So look, what was that last part of that comment? I just totally lost my train of thought. But she said,
wanting to follow.
So I think that's really, really important because, and this look, Marcy, let's write that one down too.
All right.
Right too, because I hear a lot of times in conversations that men feel like women are too independent and they actually don't feel comfortable about being submissive. And I find when I'm in the conversations, and I want you guys to chime in, that I actually naturally want to submit to a man. Like, I feel like it's a part of my biological makeup. It is so natural for me to just want to submit. Now, am I independent? Do I have a big mouth? Am I out here like, taking names? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like, yes, I have to show up in life a certain way because of my experience, my background, and where I'm at in life, right? But man, like, if I'm in an environment with a man who covers me enough to where I feel like it is okay for me to just let all that go and just submit, like, I'm like, what, where he at? And I think a lot of women feel that way. What do you all think?
I 100% agree. I think a lot of times we naturally want to do that, but it does take the right type of guy. Like, I had a guy one time I was dating, he felt like I was undermining his masculinity. How is me asking a question I can never take away your masculinity. You're a man. How can I take that from you? I can never take that. But some people don't know how to lead. They want to bicker and argue with you as if I'm arguing with my girlfriends about something. Yeah. I do think that women want to naturally follow, but it has to be the right guy. Do we feel safe? Do we feel like you have our best interest at heart? Are you trying to come as a dictator? Are you going to listen to what we have to say? Because being a leader is not about being a dictator. Exactly. You're going to listen to the collective, listen to their thoughts and feelings, and together we're going to come together and form a plan for our relationship. And usually when we choose to submit, allow the man to make that final decision, but knowing that he's going to make the right decisions for both of us in the relationship, not just because his way or the highway. And I think men need to, some men, let me not say all, some men need to understand that it's not about you bulldozing and dictating over me. It's about you learning to lead, and I feel safe with you to do so.
So ladies, right quick, ladies, check in on the ones and twos. I need you to pause and tag a leader. Tag a leader. Tag a strong man right now. If you haven't shared this already, make sure you're sharing and getting, liking and commenting and all that other good stuff. Go ahead. What Big Roll talking about, Tiff?
Oh my goodness, Big Roll. Oh my Lord. I like a girl with extensions in her hair, bamboo earrings, at least 2 pair, an EBT card, and a fly attitude. I tell you, he keeps it going. I'm just Big Roll. You had the most interesting name for our girl group. I gotta give it up to you. Like,
all right, Marcy, did you want to add to that before we move on to the next one? This is my favorite. We're going to my favorite.
I love
my
it.
Favorite topic. Marcy, go ahead.
What's our topic?
So I think that there are men that are built to lead, right? There are men that are built to lead, but also as a woman, are you going to allow him to get his thoughts together to lead you, right? And are you going to challenge him every single step of the way? So it's easy to follow when you know that, it's right? So I get that part. But a lot of us, again, have been single, independent, all these things for so long that when someone comes in, we're immediately trying to test their gangster, right? Are you stronger than me? Or do you have more commitment than me? Do you have, you know what I mean? Like, you got to understand, like, it's a lot when you meet a woman that, as I want to call it, what people call me, abrasive and know it all, and and don't know when to be quiet, because a lot of us don't know when to be quiet. There's a difference saying, hey, babe, what do you think about this? And he said, okay, well, this is what I think. And you said, well, you better do this, otherwise I'm going to be there. Who you think you're talking to? It's a terrible thing. So no one can lead when the woman is that way. A woman has to be ready to hear what a man has to say from the beginning. Not after 8 years, not after 6 months. You got to come in with an open pair of ears and a closed mouth to hear him.
That's right.
Let me pull something on right quick, though.
Marcy.
I know. You got a lot of support in the chat, Joe. They liking what you're talking about. And honestly, like, listen, Big Roll better be ready to fight, because Marcy, like Marcy got some bamboo earrings in her ear, yo.
But they got my husband's name. They got my husband's name.
But I want to say this though, like with the whole leading and submitting thing, and how like some women aren't willing. I think it's very important. This is where a lot of accountability for who we're choosing needs to be talked about, right? Like, how many women do you know, and how many times have we chosen a man that we really were not trusting that they can lead because there was qualities that they showed, maybe red flags, I think Tiff talked about earlier, right? But because we're in our selfish way, either we don't want to be alone, right? Either we don't want to be alone, right? And we don't want to go back out there again and not let this work. We're going to settle for something for the right now, even though that man might not have shown qualities that they can be the man that we would submit to. Mm-hmm. So we commit to them, and we spend a lot of time traumatizing them because we chose someone that we really were not willing to submit to in the first place. I mean, do y'all feel like that happens?
Definitely. I'm going to read a comment from Melanie. Melanie Scott says, it's difficult for a woman to allow a man to lead when they have never had a real example of a true leader.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree.
Very good comment.
I agree.
So, figure. We're going to get to this next topic, y'all. Make sure y'all like, share, comment. Y'all tag a leader. Y'all tag a freak. Y'all tag a John with some bamboo earrings. Listen, we tagging it up.
I'm tagging already.
Okay, so I got one for you. I got a toxic situation where I was the toxic one, right? I first moved to Atlanta, right? And I didn't have a lot of money. And if you guys don't know, I moved to Atlanta by myself. My family was in Philly. I moved to the A, little bit of money. I'm gonna say how it was so crazy when I moved. I didn't have no license, no registration, no insurance, no nothing. I got in my car and I drove to Atlanta, right? And I remember that I was struggling, right? Financially, I'm struggling. Where I'm having these 2 jobs and I'm still struggling. And it was this guy that liked me, right? And I was like, damn, I really don't like this nigga, but he can help me get on my feet by paying these bills for 6 months. Right?
Oh, that's toxic.
Toxic, Marcy.
That's toxic.
Damn.
That's toxic.
You can admit that though. That's growth. That shows growth.
That's growth. So what Adriel here talking about?
He says, I think it's because women are nurturing and they feel as though they can mold a man. I agree. A lot of women do feel as though they can mold a man, even though you know they trash as fuck. You still think that your shit is just that grand that you just going to change this man and it ain't going to work. A man will change for the woman that he wants to when he's ready.
Mm-hmm. I mean, let's honestly let's shout out like women that's not trying to change men. Let's shout out women that's just honestly like taking care of themselves, healing, and finding right time, right place, right man. And we ain't changing nobody. Like more need to go down. But I'm gonna get off my soapbox right quick because Angry O'Head dropped something in the chat. I want to like kind of help us segue into this next one because he said that was a business decision. Okay, Angry O'Head said Marcy's toxic ways was a business decision. So let's talk about these assets over liabilities, y'all, and let's talk about how do we get the bag, not the bag, money making moves. Okay, that we can get out here to make some money for men and women. So before I go through a list of ways that we can make money out here, when y'all hear that topic, because we had some good convo on this, y'all. When y'all hear get the bag, not the bag, money making moves for women and men, tell me what that make you think about and how that make you feel. Marcy, I'm coming to you, boo.
What? I'm sorry, I was coming to you, boo. They said I owe that nigga an apology.
What he say?
Big Rose said somebody tagged that dude that Marcy did dirty so she can apologize. You foul.
First of all, Big Rose, don't act like y'all niggas gonna be living with girls when y'all ain't got nowhere else to live at. I just put that was it. Like, come on now. I used homeboy before he used me. That was it.
That's a whole other topic. Men that be living with women because they ain't got nowhere to go and they don't really want her. Ooh, Marcy.
So, I don't owe nobody an apology. I got it. Listen, I got him before he got me. Shit. I'm sorry.
So, but let's into these business decisions, right? Because that was a business move, and I wanted to close this out and have some conversation about like how we get in the bag out here, not the bag, and let's talk about that statement, right? What that mean to you? And Marcy, I'm coming to you. Tell me what that mean to you.
I don't know, because that doesn't mean nothing to me, right? Because I don't believe in that statement. I told you that I don't believe in that statement, right? Because everybody can say they're getting the bag, and I think getting the bag doesn't mean like it can mean anything. You're going out to work, you got a business, whatever that is, right? But to do all those things, right, it needs discipline and commitment. So it doesn't matter how many scenarios you put together, how many Turos, Airbnbs, Shopify stores and Fivers you put together, and freelance opportunity. If you're not consistent, there's no bag to be made.
Talk about it. All right, so I'm trying to talk about getting the bag, but I like this though. Before we talk about getting the bag, let's talk about what it really takes to be someone that's out here getting the bag. Tiff, what you got to say on that one?
I think like Marcy said, just consistency. Do you want it? Are you ready at the moment? Because sometimes people are just not ready. They're content with what they're doing at the moment. Everybody doesn't want to be a boss. Everybody doesn't want that responsibility. I had a conversation with someone not too long ago, and he told me, look, I'm content with what I'm doing right now because there's no expectation, no further expectation of me. And that was really, I think that was really honest of him to admit something like that. A lot of people don't want the responsibility. There's a lot of investing that has to happen in order for you to have multiple streams of income. And a lot of people are just not ready to take that risk.
It takes a lot of time to build those up, though, and that takes a lot of dedication and a lot of commitment and showing up when you're tired. And I told y'all, it ain't me. I told you it could be burning down around me like it was on Sunday, and I went and took a nap. It ain't.
So, what's getting the bag? That sounds juvenile.
I mean, so I can understand that statement, yeah. Yeah, but I think more importantly, though, you got to learn to show up for yourself, right? You can't get a bag if you can't show up every day for yourself. And I say that too because you can run your own business from home, but if you think that you can get up at 11 o'clock and run your business and it's going to be successful, that might not be true. You might need to get up at 6 o'clock, which means take dedication and commitment. Exactly. You know what I mean? So I set my alarm every day for 5:30. I don't get up. I'm supposed to do my violin lesson before, and I don't.
Yes, I feel you.
But I would, and it's crazy because then it comes back down to commitment. Because if I had to be at somebody's job, guess what I would be? I would be on time. So it's so crazy. So I think it's not about getting a bag; it's about showing up for yourself. And sometimes showing up for yourself is the hardest thing to ever do.
Wow.
And consistency, Mr. Glass said, and consistency. I agree with you, Mr. Glass. And Angry Oldhead said, everyone can't be rich. But who's going to pick up the trash if everyone is rich? Agreed. We got to have workers. Everybody can't be a boss.
LaBre, what you think? Before we go back to the comments.
I was just thinking to myself that, like, right now, that's the theme that's going on social media. It's about getting that bag, you know, and what that looks like for people is different. Like, but that's the theme right now, is getting a bag. And I'm just gonna say, for me, sometimes I look at those things and I used to feel like, dang, I'm not doing enough. So with that being said, I want to change the bag for various different people, because just like he said, not everybody's getting the quote unquote bag, but they're doing the best they can. If you're getting up right now and you're working that 9 to 5 to provide for your family, then you're getting the bag. If you're getting up right now, you're taking care, you're doing some self-care, you're meditating, you're praying, you're doing something with your edges, whatever, drinking water, you're getting that bag. I think anything that you're doing to like benefit yourself, you know, to elevate yourself, you're getting that bag, and that's your quote unquote bag. I don't want that to be a way of separating us, because there's going to be some people who are into stocks and who are into selling properties, or who want to be multimillionaires. And that, I ain't gonna front, that's the boat I'm in. I'm trying to do that, but that's not everybody's thing. And I don't want them to feel limited to that. Whatever your bag is, get it.
Absolutely, absolutely. I must get the bag today because I did not take care of my edges, girl. I need some edge stuff right now. So what Big Bro talking about, Tiff?
Let me tell you something. He said, I got 4 kids, 1 in Catholic school, 1 in preschool, and child support for the other 2. My bag is occupied. Speaking of Big Roll, let me tell you something. He had the most creative and most hilarious name for our girl group.
Okay.
Y'all ready for this? I'm ready for it. Normal lashes and edges.
That's the group? Normal thing? I ain't get the bag. I ain't get the lashes right. Normal. What that mean? I guess what that mean?
Well, for the lashes, I'll tell you this.
They need to comment on one wearing fake lashes. Like, we care about what they think about us putting lashes on.
But no, it's not that. I think what he's touching on is that they not snuffleupagus lashes. Like, you can see our eyes. Like, some chicks can't even open up their eyes because the lashes are so thick and so long.
I knew what he meant. I just think it's always funny when guys are commenting on the length of women's lashes and what they like and don't like. I always find that discussion funny.
Interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna get with Big Exclusive and the team to get Big Roll's info, because I got a surprise for him. I got you, Big Roll. And when you come on next week, I don't know if I can tease this, but Big Exclusive type that Big Roll will be on the show next week, and type if it's okay for me to say what the topic is or the group that's coming next week. But anyway, when he come next week, please tell the team what I got you. So real quick, back to this getting this bag. Well, I'm sorry, y'all. Like, I'm trying to get the bag, yo. And I like talking about ways that we can all go out here and get a bag. And even if you are sweeping up trash. What the NPO has say? Some people gotta like clean up the trash. It doesn't matter, what your status is, right? Whether you want to be an entrepreneur or you just want to bring in some extra cash, right? Some people just might want to bring in extra income into their household to just make things a little bit easy for a life of leisure, right? So I got a list of ways you can get the bag, yo, in this new virtual new age entrepreneur world that we're in. Turo, if you haven't heard about it, I want you to Google it. You can actually go out there, whether you got a fly car right now sitting in the parking lot that you're never driving, or if you got a good enough credit score, go get a fly car. You can rent your car out to people coming into your city, either for music videos or, maybe somebody just want to ride around in your fly car. You can rent your car out by the hour, and there's people making buku money renting a parked car that they just happen to have. And obviously you keep it nice, you keep it good. Some of the higher cars that are more, luxury are the ones that work better for this. So if you somebody out there with a car that's just parked, listen, Google Turo. Buying stocks is another way to get the bag, not a bag. Listen, I personally have been investigating and educating myself. I'm a newbie to the stock game, but I would never again buy a Louis Vuitton bag until I have bought the Louis Vuitton stock. And I'm going to use the dividends from my Louis Vuitton stock to buy that bag. So if you don't have a lot of time, right? You don't want to get at 5 a.m., find a stock that might be able to bring you a little bit of income over time. So that's another way to get the bag, not a bag. Owning a property. We talked a little bit about how not everyone has the time to go out there and do a lot for extra income. Do you know that you can rent your room or a piece of your property, or put a poster that is as a host on Airbnb if you have a piece of your home that you are not using to make extra income? Now, obviously, this is not everybody's home, depending on what style home you're in, but just keep in mind, there's a lot of people out there single, no children. They might have been able to invest in a home or property and might not be using every piece of the property. You can post a room or grandfather suite, grandmother suite on Airbnb for extra money. Wow, that's amazing. Also, the most insane side hustles that I found doing this research, y'all. Y'all ready for this? Tell me y'all ready. Put a 1 in the chat if you're ready for this. Professional cuddler. Hold on. Y'all ain't ready.
I saw that one.
They're paying $80 an hour. Go to cuddlecomfort.com. Cash for cuddles, okay? Make sure you got your deodorant right. Make sure you got your shea butter, and you good to go. $80 an hour, okay? So we also got the professional line sitter. It's a lot of people that want the newest Nikes, the newest Jordans, the newest whatever iPhone coming out. You can get $25 an hour for waiting in line for someone that wants to obviously wait in line for something. Go to taskrabbit.com if you're curious. Listen, I got a couple more and I'm wrapping up, y'all. Take selfies of your feet. Foot photos for our foot.
This girl in the UK, she makes millions from it.
Listen, I ain't ready. We getting the bag, not a bag. Listen, go to instafeet.com if you got some pretty feet, y'all, or some nice looking masculine feet, whatever. Starting at $10 per photo. Someone will buy photos of your feet. Instafeet.com. That one was wild. You can also rent your parking space. I know Philly's a little bit different, but depending on where you live, if you have a parking space that can be rented out, it's $20 to $50 an hour. Park.com is where you can check that out. Yeah. Long story short, guys, if you don't have multiple streams of income, it's okay, right? But to be honest, if you don't, these days, it kind of feels like you're hustling backwards. So for more tips on getting the bag, I personally follow this young lady on IG, a wonderful black woman who's supporting all different streams of income or helping us find new ways of getting the bag. Her name is Keziah MW. It's her IG, Keziah, Kezia MW. Follow her. Lots of quick tips for black women, black men on getting the bag, not a bag.
Wait, didn't we skip a topic? Did we talk about mothers and sons with the clip?
Oh, I probably did skip a topic. I'm sorry, guys. We can actually jump to that right now because we do have a little bit of time before we close out with closing statements. And that was actually supposed to come up in our toxic conversation. We wanted to talk about men, but sorry about that. We never really drove to that. But the ladies wanted to pull a video clip on what toxic could look like in the relationship. And Marcy, Tiff, dive into this, but it was something around the lines of like men that don't know how to like let their mama kind of like go somewhere else. So let's jump to that right quick and play that clip since time is kind of like not again on our side.
Obviously, when you have a significant other, there's always going to be like this little quarrel sometimes between the mother and the wife or the girlfriend, because there's always a fight for placement.
I was angry. I just felt like I was your all in all. I was your queen. When Sheila became a part of, I felt like everything changed.
I want their relationship to strengthen and grow.
Whoa. Can we run that back right quick? Did you hear what I said? Run that back right quick, because that might have went over somebody's head.
Obviously, when you have a significant other, there's always going to be like this little quarrel sometimes between the mother and the wife or the girlfriend, because there's always a fight for placement.
I was angry. I just felt like I was your all in all. I was your queen. When Sheila became a part of, I felt like everything changed.
I want their relationship to strengthen and grow.
So the ladies wanted to talk about this because we were talking about toxic relationships, and my apologies, y'all, that I skipped over this. But this is some toxic stuff. Mama said,
I was your queen.
How many of y'all have dated men where, you know, mama just wouldn't go nowhere? Talk about it. Talk about it.
You're gonna go first.
I think there's something wrong with her. That she probably just needs to go to therapy, because she's treating her son like that's her man. So she needs to go to therapy on that one to figure out what's going on. There obviously got to be some kind, like, I'm not going to psychoanalyze her. There obviously some childhood issues here, some abandonment issues here, that she's still on the need to cling to her son and put these constraints on him, because this, you know, the Bible said, we're going to go with the Bible. The Bible says, you eventually the man's going to leave the mom, and they're going to create, I'm just paraphrasing, they're going to cleave to their wives, to their family. So I'm trying to figure out why she's trying to stop her son from trying to find someone to build with.
And who was that in that clip?
Huh?
Who was that in that clip? Help me out.
That's Ace Hood. That's Ace Hood, the rapper Ace Hood.
Oh, dang, I'm talking about people, I don't know who he is. I just comment on the clip. All I know is that was kind of weird. I was the queen at first, and now she came along. Like, what do you mean? Like, you still are a queen, boo. You are
angry
queen.
Old head. Cut it out, angry old head. Mama needs some old-fashioned hammer.
Yeah, she did. I did that too. She can stop impeding on her son's life.
Hello, she's impeding on their relationship, and she can actually be the disconnect between them two.
Yeah, because if you go further into the clip, she said we ain't talked for a year because I was angry.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And that's what I thought was crazy, right? But I wanted to talk about that topic because I'm watching some women raise sons, right? And these sons are taking the male role in these households sometimes, and these women are putting responsibility on these young sons. And then when a woman gets a man, the son and the mother go through issues because the son don't know where his place is anymore. You understand? So I think that was a good thing to talk about, because women that raise sons need to be very careful about the roles they assign to their young son.
Definitely.
I agree with that. I agree with that. I'm raising a young man right now. He's 12. And I think what's interesting though, I tell my friends this, because seeing my son grow up, he's naturally he in himself is already starting to be very protective of his mom. Like, he's very protective, and I haven't taught him that. But I think it's important as parents for us to set that boundary. Look, I'm the parent, you're the child. And if I'm dating someone, you're gonna. There's no way if I'm dating someone, like, I don't let everyone meet my child. But when the time comes that he does meet, my son will not be disrespectful. Say, I'm the man of this house. Like, no, boo boo. Like, you live here, you're my child, and he's not the man of the house either. To be honest, there's no man of the house. You are the son of this house. I think it's very important to set those boundaries, because little boys naturally are very protective of their moms, and sometimes moms don't realize they're being a little too close with their sons. You need to, you know what I'm saying? You got to get you a man, boo boo.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Well, I had a situation once where I was living with my man, and like, mama, what?
They want me on Dancing with the Stars.
Big role. But you know, when you think about it, they are like past actors and people you haven't seen in a while. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
I was living with my man at the time, and his mama was needed a place to stay. I don't know, something was going on, like, and she just, wasn't in a good place, right? So she moved in with us. Like, we had a 1-bedroom apartment, and I remember feeling like, okay, she's gonna be here for like a couple weeks to transition. That's how it was pitched to me, right? She's gonna be here for a couple weeks and transition into her next situation, right? And this was the first experience that I had exposed to this type of relationship dynamics between a son and his mother, and little things were happening in a relationship where I was like, okay, it's mama's boy, she's a little controlling. But when she moved in for these 2 weeks, she on our couch, 1-bedroom apartment. She coming in, changing stuff around, control, like cooking in the kitchen, like just all types of stuff. So here it was like 4 weeks later where I was like, so when's she leaving? And do you know, like, it actually like created an entire issue between us because I was asking, when is she leaving? And he was just like, it's my mom, and made it about like, how dare you ask that question? And then talked about it with her. And next thing you know, she coming at my neck because of something I said to him. And man, when I tell you, it was really like being in a Twilight Zone. I personally couldn't relate. It didn't make any sense to me whatsoever that it was problematic that I thought mom needed to go.
And he should have communicated with you that he was trying to have her be there. Don't say it's temporary. You really were moving her in, boo. Like, I'm sorry.
He was moving her into our 1-bedroom apartment. Oh, anyway. So
see, you're saying exactly what meant. Sons are very protective of their moms. I tell you. They are very protective. As a mother, you got to set that boundary with your sons because, I don't know what it is. I guess as they get older, they realize, I don't want no man doing what I'm doing to women. My mom's not going to be having that happening. I don't know what it is that goes in their mind, but.
I plead the fifth.
Oh man!
That's your house. Y'all better be smashing
baby. But
Henry Cotton says, "My
that's
homie
what
took
I'm
his mom
talking
out
about.
of his house the first time she disrespected his wife." Now that's a man
That's
right
what
there.
I'm talking about.
That's a man. You have to
set boundaries. But I got a question though, right? Because you guys are coming at it as a standpoint because everybody's single. What do you do if that's your mother-in-law? What do you do if that's your father-in-law?
It's the same thing, and I feel like what you're doing as single is a clear red flag. If these types of things are happening in a single relationship, in my opinion, those are actually red flags that should not be ignored. In my opinion, for marriage, it shouldn't be happening as a single person because that means it's going to happen.
You should change your boundaries. Just because you're married, don't mean that you have to limit your boundaries. I think it's very important to have communication. Like, talk about it. Like, that guy could have communicated to Crystle, like, hey, my mom's gonna stay here for a while. So I think the same thing in a marriage. If your husband or if your wife wants their parent to move in for whatever reason, we're a partner. We're in a partnership here. Let's talk about it. Let's go from there. But I think that should be a discussion, and I don't think it matters whether or not you're married or single. Right. In that conversation.
It does. And I'm gonna tell you why it does. Because if you're married, you got to be with that man for the rest of your life. You have children with that man. That is your children's grandmother. So it does make a difference, right? Because it's not when you're dating and y'all break up, boom, y'all go y'all separate ways. Marriage is different because no matter what happens, that woman has to be in your life. You can't not be a part. Like, you know what I mean?
So that wasn't addressed in the courting phase. Was that addressed in the courting phase? Like before you got married?
I don't know.
Like, in
but it should be. It should be. You should be figuring all this out before you get married. I'm sorry.
That's a lot to figure out before you get married.
Now, if you're spending the right type of time, I think. I don't know, Tiff, what you think?
I agree. I think that a lot of times things are shown very early within a relationship. If you just take the time out to look at everything that encompasses that person's life. If you notice he's always on the phone with mom every time something go down, that's not normal.
That's a problem.
You're a grown ass. Why do you need your mother's validation for every little thing that you damn do? Like, come on now, stop.
Wow. So what Big Roll talking about? Coming with something.
He said, Crystle, when she finally left, did you do the smarter dance butt naked in the living room?
I think I did walk around butt naked while I was flipping pancakes for like a week straight.
Girl, as you should.
Well, this has been a really, really great conversation. And I mean, I just feel like I'm so proud of us. We got through all of our topics and I learned a lot about you ladies. I learned a lot about the audience. What you think, Big Exclusive?
Guess who's back, ladies? I'm telling you, first way, I'm blown away at the topics y'all discussed. I'm blown away, by y'all. I think Big Roll can sum it up for me as he normally does. Ladies, y'all killed it tonight. I feel like I'm gonna put y'all on the spot because there was a couple topics that you guys missed. So I had a few ideas while you guys were talking. You wrote some things down that we probably need to do a part 2 for. So what I'm gonna say is when we get off, right, and everybody leaves the studio, like let's just head over to the chat real quick to just do a post-show quick conversation so that we can get on the same page. There's some holes in the this.
Can I curse? Right? Can I curse?
You absolutely can.
Never mind.
You absolutely can. So what I'm gonna say is, because it's a couple things that we need to get to before we get out of here. Again, like Rose said, y'all killed it. I appreciate y'all ladies coming on tonight. I do want to have a part 2 in some shape, form, or fashion. Whether we do it again here, whether we take it over to the Passing Time with Wine podcast. Again, you guys coming out with new shows. I want to make sure people are aware of that and that they tune in. The new shows for Passing Time with Wine will be Thursday, September 23rd at 7 p.m. Please make sure you guys follow the ladies that's on Instagram at LaBre Tyler. That's LABRE Tyler TYLER. And Crystle is My Thoughts Could Be a Blog, spelled exactly how it sounds. I'll make sure I post that information, on my page as well, so that people know when the show is coming on and we can support that show. So normally what we do on the Big Exclusive podcast is we give everybody 1 or 2 minutes to kind of say your final thought and make sure you guys plug something. Make sure you give them your social media so people know how to keep up with you. And again, this has been a dope show. We could do it round table style. I'll pick. Please do, Nene. I want you to be a part of that part 2. Shout out to our we have family on the Big Exclusive podcast. We do not have fans, right? Facebook labeled her a top fan. Nene is family. You ladies are family. Everybody in this chat, if you decided to comment, you're family. Tell a friend to tell a friend about the Big Exclusive podcast. We need all the support that we can get, and we appreciate y'all as well. Angry OG said, I'm bringing my shit to y'all show. Last couple comments I'm going to read before I get out of here. I'm blown away by y'all chemistry, given this is the first time y'all work together. Dope. Big Roll, Mr. Behind the Scenes stuff that I had to go through. Roll, I'll tell you about it. Shit, I had 2-3 gray hairs pop up in my beard trying to get this show together. Big shout out to Marcy's husband, Jay. I want to say thank you for tuning in. I appreciate your service to this country. And, if there's anything I can do for you or you guys, please let me know. I really do appreciate the men and women who decide to risk their lives and go into the service. And Jay, Marcy is a dope, great friend to me. I can't wait to reciprocate that to you guys as a whole.
You got to show him some love. He stayed up for you. He stayed up for you.
I know where he is.
In Germany time.
Oh, see, I didn't want to say that.
We international, y'all. We international.
It could have been G14 classified. You know what I mean? I didn't want to say nothing. I didn't want to say nothing, but yeah, he's over there in Germany. He stayed up to listen. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. So when I check the analytics, we're actually going to have a listener in Germany. We already international because we have plenty of people who live in Canada, Montreal to be more specific.
Yeah.
Shout out to my brothers in Montreal. Jabera said, love y'all. So what I want to do now is I want to go to each individual lady so that y'all could do y'all shout out. You can plug your shows. You can do whatever it is that you need to do. You got 1 to 2 minutes, or if you stop talking, I'm going to get you out of here. If I once you're done, I am going to remove you from stream. So do not take it personally, okay? That does not mean leave backstage of the show. Stick around till I end the stream, and then we'll talk for a brief second, and then we'll take it over to the chat, okay?
You got something on ice back there in the green room.
Absolutely, always. You know what I mean? Most people listen to the podcast are familiar with Big Exclusive Wine, so
Hey.
it's around. So Marcy, I want to do you first. All right, is that okay?
Yeah,
Not I
we
want
in
to
it.
do you first. That came out wrong. Pause.
Pause.
Pause. My husband is listening.
Because her husband fight.
Right. Well, I can fight, so I'm not worried about that. But I like him. I like him. I like them as a couple, and I love Marcy. So I would never disrespect, you know what I mean, their marriage and their union. So that's why I wanted to correct it. But Marcy, you're gonna go first. But before you go, I want to play you something, okay?
Okay.
Just let me find it. Here it is.
That came out good.
You like that?
Yeah, it came out good.
Your boy Big Exclusive hooked you up, baby. I take care of my family, don't
Woo,
I?
that came out good.
I'll make sure I send it to you so you'll have it. And you can post it whenever you want. But yeah, you give your final thoughts. You got a minute or two.
I want to say thank you, ladies, for having me. It was a great time. And everybody should follow me on social media, Chef Marcy on IG, Twitter, Facebook. Go ahead and head over to my site and make your purchase because I got everything on there. I got cutting boards, steak knives. I got recipe journals. I got 8 blends out. So go ahead and head on over to chefmarcy.com and make your purchase. And I thank everybody for having me. And I will see you guys next time.
And as a person who's actually bought the blends and used them on a daily basis, they are absolutely phenomenal. And when you get these blends, it's not about salt. This shit is about flavor. Okay? Flavor. How do they say flavor? Salt. Salt is not a flavor. Okay? Salt
No, it's
is
not.
supposed to be used to slightly enhance, right? But that to taste. But that's it. Like these blends are like flavor bombs in your mouth. And when I tell you that lime one on some fish, oh Lord,
you gotta try the honey chipotle on salmon.
See, okay, I'll be at the website.
You gotta try the honey chipotle on salmon.
I'll be at the website. And about, as a matter of fact, every lady that's been on the panel today is going to get some seasoning blends from Marcy on me. Okay, I'm gonna shoot Marcy a message, and I'm gonna make sure she sends some to all the ladies that's on the panel as my gift to all you guys for doing such a phenomenal job and to support my friend Marcy. I love you. Stick around behind or backstage, okay? I'll be right back.
Yep, I'll be here.
All right, Tiff. Tiff, you ready?
I'm ready.
I got a surprise for you as well. Actually, 2.
Okay.
I got 2 for you, Tiff.
Okay.
You ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Let's do this one first.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. Yes.
This is Royalty Catering. I didn't put any music behind it because I couldn't find anything that fit right with like food that looks that good. That's Chilean sea bass and the filet mignon what is it? Medallion. Yeah.
Yes.
Those are pan-seared scallops with again filet medallion and some roasted carrots. All right, Tiff, I got one more for you. These are your people, right? I told you I was gonna hook them up. I was gonna show some love. Check this one out.
Oh, that's my sister.
Killing it.
That's my sister, the flyest stylist in West Philly.
Hey, does she twist our locks?
Huh?
Does she do lock twist outs?
She does everything. My sister does everything. She is the Picasso of color. Like she's amazing.
Awesome.
Look at that cut right there.
Yeah, that was good. Oh,
Thank you. That looks amazing. I know both of them are very ecstatic just to see that. Thank you so much.
oh, that's why I said Big Rose. Do she do locks? I want to know the same thing. I'm coming.
Yes, she does.
I need a fresh twist out.
Yes. I just want to take this time just to say thank you to you, Big Exclusives, for the platform. Angry Old Head, Top Flight, thank you for allowing us to impede on y'all territory tonight. It's been amazing, ladies. The conversations that we've even had off of camera has been amazing. I enjoy just hearing everybody's opinions. I want you to continue to strive to do your very best and continue to just thrust forward. Like everybody, each and every one of you is amazing. I want to say hey to my kids, Malachi, Taylor, and Mackenzie. Mommy loves you so very much. I support you in everything you do, all of your endeavors. I want you to reach for the stars and don't stop.
Yes, Tiff. Definitely appreciate that. Again, stick around backstage. I will be with you momentarily, okay?
All
Love
right.
you, Tiff.
Love you too.
All right. I just need to right quick. I just need to, cop a plea right fast. Jace, I said I can fight. Jay said I got an army behind me. So I don't want that smoke, okay, Jay? I'm just gonna go ahead and cop a plea. I am not ready for real life Call of Duty, bro. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and bow out gracefully. And he had a message, for his wife. It said, "You are so beautiful, baby." And I just wanted to make sure I got that on before, you know what I mean. We kind of left the show. Why? Oh, here we go. Let me bring the other ladies up. Yeah, passing time with wine. Which one of you ladies want to go first?
Hi, my name is LaBre, and I'm one of the co-hosts for Passing Time with Wine. I want to say thank you so much for allowing us to be on here and supporting our podcast. I've been hearing through Crystle that you've been a really big help, so I truly appreciate the help, the advice that you've given us, the feedback that I've gotten concerning like how we can do better and improve as a podcast. So for those that are watching or for those who are listening, I'm not sure how it's going. Definitely support us. We're launching live. We're going to do our first live together this Thursday, September 23rd. And again, it's Passing Time with Wine. So you can eventually gonna be able to Google us. Like we're gonna have a website, we're gonna have all that stuff. But we're getting everything set up right now. So on Facebook, it's Passing Time with Wine. I believe on YouTube, it's Passing Time with Wine. I think everything's Passing Time with Wine. So definitely check us out. Also, just for everyone to know, I'm also a singer. I'm also an actor as well. So I have an album that'll be coming out next year. I'm aiming to have it on my birthday. So I'm excited about that. That's things I'm working on outside of the podcast. Those are my passions. I've been a singer.
Whoa.
Yeah, so I'm very excited about that. Really, so I'll definitely talk to you about that another time. But yeah, I'm excited. So I got that coming out, and I got some roles coming up. So just stay tuned. Follow me on social media for you to find it. He told you already. I'm LaBre Tyler. It's on everything. It's on Twitter. It's on Facebook. It's on Instagram. It's on LinkedIn. LaBre, LaBre, Tyler, Tyler.
I ain't letting you slide off just like that. You ain't just gonna tell me you act and you sing and you got an album coming out. What's the name of this show? It's the Big Exclusive Podcast, right? We get the exclusive. Now you're gonna give me some bars right quick. Just give us a little sample. Just a little sample. I know you wasn't prepared for this, but you're a professional, okay? I expect you to be prepared at all times. So just give us a little bit. Matter of fact, take a second. We're going to get Crystle out the way, and then you're going to sing us out of here.
Hey, I love it. I love it.
Stay right there. Don't go anywhere, okay?
Okay.
Crystle, you're up.
Hey. So thanks for the platform as always. Love the opportunity. Angry Old Head, Top Flight, Big Exclusive. We appreciate you all. Looking forward to having you all on Passing Time with Wine. And we got to really cook something up and figure out something good. So I'm super excited. I'm wearing one of my favorite shirts right now, Assets Over Liabilities. And I believe in that when it comes to how I spend my time, how I make my money, and how I choose my men. So I'll leave it at that. Thanks so much for having me. Don't forget to follow Crystle. My thoughts could be a blog as well as Pass Taiwan. Yes, we are going to be live, and just go to our YouTube channel. Please subscribe. We are starting off brand new, so subscribe, and watch us on Thursday. We got some treats in store. Thanks so much for having me. Mwah!
Crystle, I want to say thank you. I appreciate you. Stick around, okay? Don't get out of here just yet. All right, LaBre. I'm going to say my little 1-2 I say every show, and then I'm getting out of here. When you done, just hit everybody with a thank you and tune in next week, all right? When you done.
Oh, wow, you really having me close out because I wasn't prepared for this.
Yeah, that's okay. Like I said, you're a professional, okay? This is what you do. A couple quick things is, Tiff, when I talk to you, I saw something about a podcast. I want to make sure if you need any help launching that, I will, we'll talk behind the scenes and I'll do what I can to help you. Kayla, Cameron, Daddy loves you to the end of the galaxy and back. Understand there is nothing you guys cannot do with the exception of disappointing Daddy. You could disappoint me, and I must say this. There's only one way you could disappoint your father, and that's if you don't try. Because I'm giving you guys all the necessary tools to become whatever or whoever it is that you want to be in this lifetime. And I hope that Daddy has built enough relationships, built enough friendships, built enough bridges so that if you guys ever need anything in life and I'm not here, women like they're on the podcast tonight, some of the family that's been tuned in, executive producer of the show, Don, friends, family, your aunts and uncles, and any other business relationships that I built, I hope that my name is good enough for you guys to actually be able to lean on them, whether it's for financial help or an internship so that you can get the knowledge, or if it's just for some advice and wisdom, especially reach out to your Uncle Angry OG, okay? Listen, he's going to sound crazy on this podcast, but just understand he is a library of knowledge, a wealth of wisdom. And he always going to be there for you just as much as, your dad would be here for you. So Daddy love you. Just do whatever it is you want to do. See the world, live your life, and any advice that you may need, hopefully is somebody here to give it to you guys. And I've done my job. I love you guys.
All right, everyone, I'm just going to close it out. I'm going to sing a song. It's not going to be the song that's on my album because I'm not releasing that yet, but it's one of my favorite songs. So I'm just going to go with that and close it on out. I'm sure people will recognize it. So if you do, if you're at home and you like it, sing along with me, all right? Time on my hands since you went away, boy. I ain't got no plans. No, 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 no. And the sound of the rain against my window pane, it's slowly driving me insane. Boy, I'm going down. I'm going down. 'Cause you ain't around, baby. My whole world's upside down. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed our podcast. Us being on there, ladies taking over. And remember to follow Big Exclusive if you haven't. Bye.